maintained all around the world. You know, we've come so far. It's my migration. And that day I told you, as a student at winter, we're a student of winter, peril, and winter possibilities. Peril and possibilities.
Don't spend it all in one place, mate.
The worst economic crisis since the Great Depression. The worst economic crisis since we came together as Americans.
He's a democracy drink.
We got through it.
You guys are fucking doomed.
Prosperous and more secure.
I'm drinking.
Today we have a strong.
Lied about economy and border drink.
Wages are. Inflation continues to come down.
Lied about economy drink. Wages are down over $4,000.
And for 20 years. We're literally rebuilding our entire nation, urban, suburban, rural, tribal communities. Manufacturing has come back to America.
That's it. Left America and record break drink.
What does that mean? We finally beat Big Pharma after all those years.
Biggest big bag ever to Big Pharma with the vaccine.
Shut the fuck up, Steven. You're gonna kill him.
Not just Steve.
Maybe this way.
More people have health care than we
Hey, everybody can't do that.
You know, most significant climate event ever in the history of the world. The first major competition us giving it today. Climate is 15-year-old. We're also securing our border. Border crossings are lower today.
Liar!
I also kept my commitment. Having an administration that looks like America. That's what I've done. Because I believe it's equivalent to the soul of America in this state.
Why'd you run 1988?
It's nature, human rights. That's still the case.
You pulled up.
America's an
Since my
idea.
chambers are a mess.
The idea is trying to live in the future. Life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. Never fully lived up to this sacred idea. We've never walked away from it either. And I do not believe the American people will walk away from it now. Just a few months, the American people will choose the course of America's future. I made my choice. I've made my views known. I'd like to thank our great Vice President Kamala Harris.
Fuck
Got home
you.
drink.
The experience, it's tough, it's
And then he died.
You make that choice. Remember the words of Benjamin Franklin.
Remember the words of, what about the primaries?
Alongside the rest of the body. Archer said to the shop. When Ben Franklin was asked to emerge from the response was, Republic, if you can keep it. The Republic,
Like
if you can keep it. And we're going to keep our Republic. Service station is fair. Nowhere else on earth with a kid with a sliver.
You announced that lie.
Fast this time.
I'm on call. One day
Olympus,
said,
I accept this message.
in the Oval Office, as President of the United States. Here I am.
Just
So
about
I
10
never
minutes.
get enough of this stuff.
Imagine we're a nation of promise and possibilities. Dreamers and doers. Of ordinary Americans doing extraordinary things. I give my heart and my soul for our nation. That's what we have. I've been blessed a million times in return with the love and support of the American people.
And grandchildren you deny.
Come on up. That is a step up.
Great thing about America is here. Kings and dictators do not rule, but people do. History is in your hands. Because I'm a president. The idea of America lies in here.
Just what I need.
You just have to keep faith. Keep the faith. And remember who you are. Believe you organize mistakes. There's simply nothing. It's nothing beyond your capacity. It's a bigger picture. We do it together. So let's act together. Preserve our democracy. God bless you all. May God protect our troops. Thank you.
Okay, so look.
God, can I say something real quick?
Yes, we're gonna have just so you know, we're gonna have a live fact check. I know I sent that out to Mission Control. Please, I know everyone is going to be abuzz right now on social media. Tune in right here. Bring your family in.
Yes.
Everything that Egypt. We are going to fact check his border thing. We're going to fact check his economy.
NATO thing.
We are going to fact check what?
NATO.
His NATO claims. Yes, say your thing, and then I want to see if anyone is crying on
Did he
CNN.
really just say that we wouldn't have anybody, we're not fighting any wars, and then end his speech with protect our troops? Bro, what? I mean, I agree with the sentiment. Yeah, sure. God bless our troops. Oh, and yeah, that's too. It's a comic thing. Like a cheap
Monsters.
Yes.
Giving up, just giving up for the troops.
See you, boy.
Try the fish.
I want to see what these guys.
Yeah, let's see what CNN says, and then we actually have a nice tribute to Joe Biden.
Kid from Scranton playing like the kid with the stutter.
Yes. Fact check. Didn't have a stutter. You can see it because you can see his entire career. He's been suckling at the public teat since he was, I believe.
In his mouth, no stutter.
Yep.
In his head,
Clear as a bell.
You cleaned your chambers with the same devotion you show getting to these heights.
But he's leaving, you know, forget the 3.5 weeks. He's done an unnatural thing. Very well. Stepped away from
Get nominated by the party. He thinks that actually being nominated for any left because of bad polling. Yeah. That's why it's dead.
What a piece of shit. We of course were going to, and now you can just drink that from here because boy, we think that speech. Then we should take the whole thing to fire off its speech. Let's see what she has to say.
Why he's not registered.
And Joe is going to talk about those big hard Joe's like, I am going to disabuse you of that notion. And I was glad very proud of people to put together again for the definitive segment by being a piece of cheap president. I put looking at ready to fact check every bullshit claim that we just made. There's no love lost. He's a bad person. Let's hear what Van Jones has to say.
Not you.
That's not Van Jones. Gun hard to their dick. There's no more dishonest. If public servants, then Joe Biden said he Kamala Harris, but let's see.
Definitely.
The kids he gonna say he's wrong. We'll see. I just got this beer. It's all right.
I shall not fall for you again. Let's see you run.
Let's get his last beat. Hold on, time out.
Oh, shit.
is accurate. He lied for years about his ability to do the job Van Jones. How is that character? He lied to the American people, shut people out of a primary, and then bowed out of the race because he had his arm twisted by the bosses in the Democratic Party. That's not character, it's cowardice. Character. There's back there. No, that character. There is character. It's all the character skills. He didn't care. We need refills in the studio. For which version? Which apparel on?
Okay, wait. Get another beer then.
This is the store for
Did you want a cherry beer?
Humans comes a certain strength, it seems.
Oh, it's such a funny book.
Well, to be fair, he does know a 7-year-old named Cherry.
Can I say a couple things I liked?
Yes.
I liked
Be
how
careful.
I liked how the writers,
In the name of
his
someone
writers
very
started the
sore
speech
right now.
talking about the past presidents. I thought that was sweet.
Yeah.
I also liked that he said that it's trying to pass on to a younger generation.
Yeah.
I love that thought. I also love the irony of him saying that as he's dying. I've been taking an office since he was a young man.
Thank you, because you're making me. I want to start throwing things right now.
His heart, just so you know, when he talks about his heart is about to go boom, boom. I don't give a fuck. That's what his heart is about to do.
He was president yesterday.
Yes, it's done. It's done. Let's keep watching CNN because I will have to give Mission Control some time to fact check. We do have a tribute.
already.
I know, but we do have a tribute to former Vice President Biden. Let's hear Van Jones cry.
This might be a little
like a
weird,
mission.
but
The whole thing. Going for it.
thanks.
Bottle.
I mean, you talked to Thanatos about me, right? At first, I thought he was acting funny,
You
but
know he's not
he
going to be
has
able to get it
definitely
done,
been
Van
a lot
Jones.
nicer to me lately.
Had 3.5 years.
And he challenged the American people. I mean, he really, he said he endorses Vice President Harris. He made clear that he believes that she.
That's not the fucking Democratic
And you still up with Gerald. How long was the speech? Can Mission Control get the actual
11 minutes.
I don't want to talk about it.
You owe $100 to someone in Mug Club. By the way, louderwithcrowder.com/Mug Club. The election live stream of the century, the Rumble on Rumble, November 5th. We will be here with you until that election is called. Here, let me just so
Josh, really sorry, your paycheck's $100 less.
and of course, you get 100% more of this show. Nick DiPaolo, you get a Friday show. You get the Mug Club Undercover Crew. None of it happens without you. Just to shoot, we've invested millions of dollars into elections that no one else will be investing because we want to make sure there are no more tricks. The media is already doing it. They're trying to piss on your head and tell you it's raining. Let's see John King. He's shaped like a picnic.
None. But we know there's been a lot of anger behind the scenes in recent days. He said he was stepping aside, quote, to unify my party. He didn't say he was stepping aside because his doctors say he's not up for the job. He didn't say he was stepping aside because he
Correct.
had
He's lying.
He's lying.
Yes. He said he was stepping aside
Because he saw bad polling.
That is president.
Unify my party and agreeing with every single one of them that said I should step down.
No, I'm sorry. These
By the way, that's a good pickup line with Czar. Hey, you look like you can unify. Hey.
Unify this party?
But you don't need that pickup line with Kamala. You just say you look like she goes, yeah.
Talk about candor in politics. I found that to be the most honest
Fellatio,
speech.
The most honest thing in the speech. Listen, I'm sorry. This is not honesty. This is political expediency and trying to keep your party in power and seeing bad polling. That's not honesty. He doesn't have a bone in his body that says I'm putting country before Joe Biden. He would have not run 4 years ago if that was the case.
Well, on that note, we do have this segment prepared because I knew, like we told you, the media would be doing this. You can use the hashtag Biden failed us. I don't know what the hashtag is right now that's trending on social media. We told you they were going to be trying to venerate him. They were going to try and deify him. These people stabbed him in the back, by the way. Remember, we showed right after the debate. They go, that was good. He needs to go away. Now they're saying, what a great guy.
Oh, look at you go.
I've also heard some conservatives. This is how you know they're a rhino. If someone says, Joe Biden's a worthy adversary because he's wrong, but he's a good guy. I believe his heart is in the right place. His heart is not in the right place. He is a liar. He has always been a liar. He's made his career suckling at the public teeth and chewing I will argue this point. I don't know that there has ever been a president or former vice president of the United States who has so consistently lied with complete disregard for accountability or even being caught. You have people who BS, they fluff up their record a little bit. Joe Biden makes up stories that never happened with people he's never met in places that don't even exist. He's not a good guy. He's obviously failed this nation, but he's failed his family, he's failed his community, and he has failed every American ideal that you are required to live up to if you want to feed your family or put a roof over your head. So while they venerate this man and talk about what, gee golly, what a good guy he is, we have our own tribute prepared. Joe Biden, what a piece of shit. All right, you can comment below. Pause it, don't cheat. What you think will be included here. I guarantee you there will be some surprises. All references available at lateralspatter.com. Let's start with former Vice President Biden. Really starting his career, his entire career is based on lies. He's always lied. He's lied about his background. He's lied about who he is. He's lied about his resume. He's lied about his schooling. He's lied about, well, he actually even plagiarized people when he was running for president in 1988, had to drop out due to lies. He has lied about pretty much everything you can lie about as a former vice president of the United States. I can't find an instance where he hasn't lied, let alone his record as presidency. But let's walk you down this path, memory lane here. Let's start with this, his background, former Vice President Biden's background. Well, first off, he, and let me just be clear about the rules.
Yeah.
I just want to be very clear here.
Make sure.
Because I'm not going to have time to fact check all of this. This will be a 9-hour stream. When I tell you anything right now to set up these clips, it means that the truth is the opposite of that. Okay. You can go and fact check it yourself. I know we always, but I think it's pretty self-explanatory. Like when he says he was from coal miners, you know that's not true. He's not. There were no coal miners. No. When he says he's like Greek or Persian, he's not Greek or Persian. Does everyone understand this? Not Greek. Yeah. For brevity's sake, I just don't want to spend so much time on it. Okay. Yeah. So I will say the thing, but the truth is the opposite thing because as a rule, not a general rule, an always rule, former Vice President Biden always lies. Well, that's clear. Okay. Like the time he claimed that he came from coal miners.
Hell, I might be president now if it weren't for the fact I said I had an uncle who was a coal miner. It turned out I didn't have anybody in coal mines, you know what I mean? Really? Inside that crap, you know?
Now you got to understand the rules. He didn't come from coal miners.
No, it turned out he didn't.
Yeah, okay. All right. So you understand because of the pattern here. Yeah.
He's a piece of.
Yeah.
Human piece of shit.
Like an IQ test. Notice the pattern. Okay. He also claims, like Steven Seagal, he claimed that he grew up in the black community.
Come on, Hypnos, I didn't have anything to do with that. You seem like you've been working extra hard and taking some of the feedback you've been getting to heart.
Okay,
I think
so President Catholic goes to mass a lot when he's talking to black people. No idea why that works. But he also claimed that he has gone to synagogue more than most Orthodox Jews. Again, the opposite.
I don't know, but I really appreciate that you went out of your way. I mean, I just stand here and greet and register the dead, but you, you're a real friend.
It's important to remember because
thanks,
he claimed he's like Puerto Rican.
Hypnos, wanted to say you have really helped the thought of my coming back here time after time. Painful death by death, not be inherently abhorrent. Your greetings really help, so I wanted you to have this.
Jewish, a lot of Catholic, also Puerto Rican. Now you would say that's bad enough. I'd agree with you, but it's not the end. He's also Greek.
You're not supposed to have this here. We can both get in a lot of trouble, and I mean a lot if they catch us.
He's not Joe Biden. He's not any of the things that he claims. And the great irony here is, I don't know if you know this, but if you go back to kind of world history, they actually, there's different empires. Greek empire is very different from not only the Romans, but of course if you go to the Ottomans or you go to the Persian Empire, because he also claimed that he's
everything is as always was.
Persian.
You know,
hey, sir.
Persian culture.
Meant to say I hope I didn't get you into too much trouble after letting me in Father's bedchambers.
As a student of Persian culture,
Think nothing of
not a
that.
practitioner.
It was a risk I was willing to take.
To be fair, he wears
And
their
for his
robes.
part,
Yeah.
the father looked the other way on that one.
But when
Though I
pandering
did
for
not expect
votes,
you to get free reign
he
to go there
also
as you
claimed,
please.
but actually, what I really
Mother
wanted to
can be
be,
quite
not
persuasive.
Greek, not Jewish, not black, not Persian, I wanted to be Italian and Polish.
But everyone in town is either Polish or
Just thought
Italian.
I'd say hello.
I grew up feeling subconscious. My name didn't end in S-K-I. Oh.
So that's where the nickname, the self-proclaimed nickname, Bidensky.
Yes, Bidensky.
Yes, okay.
Madonna. But that being said, I will, in his defense, Polish jokes,
Nix,
Polak
you've known
jokes,
her
and by the way,
practically
we don't want to
forever,
denigrate
or
good
before
Polish
my
people.
time
No,
at least. So could you tell me more about what she was like back then?
Jokes and Bide jokes are pretty much interchangeable, so I'll give that one to him.
On better terms
What
of
a
late.
piece of shit.
Megara always
And
was
we're
as
going
she
to get to his
appears.
policies,
Dutiful and quite
and
particular.
we're going to get him denying his
Thoughtful and
granddaughter.
dependable.
But this guy lies when he doesn't even need to lie. No,
Needed him to, to pander to them.
look, you can see the surprise on reporters' faces. Like, hey, Biden, it's a softball. Hey, so what's your background? Like, Persian, Greek, black, but Jewish, synagogue. Like, what the fuck is he lying about this? There's no reason for you to lie right now. Just say you're like from Scranton. Like, are you retarded? Puerto Rican. That's close. Yeah. Hey, I say. So,
It's Mexican.
He's also Mexican. Yes, he is. He is always Mexican. Yes, he is. He not only lied about his background. That's just to set the stage. He's completely lied about his resume, about his schooling. Also, he's intentionally racist. But here's a good example where he claimed one time that he was appointed to the U.S. Naval Academy. Again, the opposite is the truth.
I was appointed by the fellow I ran against when I was 29 years old to the Naval Academy. I was one of 10. I wanted to play football.
So detailed, and none of it is even close to true.
Why would you say that at West Point? They're big rivals.
Yeah.
Big, huge football rivals.
They come to Ohio State like, I was a U of M. I was a tight end. Then they made me a kicker. You're the kicker. You're the kicker, sucker. You're the sucker kicker. You're the kicker. So think of when they fact-check Donald Trump. Here's another example. He claimed he went to Delaware State and also went on to specify it was an HBCU. Believe your eyes.
I got started out of an HBCU, Delaware State. Now, I don't want to hear anything negative about Delaware State here, okay?
And then all 7 of those registered coming down for the possession of police and nerves.
Yes, he did.
As though they were an audience
Stop
level.
it. It's a skit. We're going to get to his racism.
Dummies. What were they even thinking? Cutting the line.
He never claimed he
Let's
went
just
to
say
Delaware
any
State.
complaints for our Lord Hades. They'll be waiting for a long, long time before they get the chance to bring them up.
He said he got his start.
Ladies' night, I guess.
I got my
Or
start at
day.
Delaware State
I
and
don't know.
HBCU. Writers said he never said he was from Delaware State. It's not just him lying, but the media has to work in overdrive just to compensate for his lies.
Seems like a good deal. Could always use more cheap.
Delaware State. I don't want to hear anything negative about Delaware State here, okay?
You're trying to fleece me.
Oh, that's too bad.
They're not.
Here are your keys.
Oh, shit. There it is. Reuters. Yeah.
Here's the latest cat check.
Did not say he attended Delaware State University. Thanks, Reuters.
It is
He did
I,
get his
Bishop.
start at Delaware State. They forgot to hit the rest of that clip where he got his start at Delaware State and then realized soon that, fuck that, I'm going to the University of Delaware.
Yes. Yeah. Wait, did I say Delaware State? Yeah. What did I mean? So here's another example. And you know what? This is actually we're gonna go way too long tonight. Use the hashtag Biden failed us if you want to take part. And please make sure that everyone knows, because don't allow them to turn this guy into a saint. He's a bad guy. He's a bad dude, like he claims Corn Pop was, who also doesn't exist. What a piece of shit.
I love a guy who gives a fake black nickname to a black guy. He snap, crackle, and pop.
Snap, crackle, and pop. These boys live in a tree.
I call this black guy Lucky Charm.
There's a gang.
like he's Ty Cobb. You know Ty Cobb? Kept the black kid under his bed for good luck.
He did, yeah. These guys are a gang. They live in a tree. Because of the key girls. They're tough sons of bitches. So here he is. Here's just a montage of him lying about jobs. Again, what he says is the exact opposite of the truth. I'm not going to insult your intelligence and spend the time fact-checking all of this. None of it is even close to the realm of being possibly
inevitable I can do.
And I was driving going through Shiloh, Ohio, and his hand was Big Ten. So that's why I started. No, I'm serious. I started civil rights movement. Been on a lot of university campuses. As a matter of fact, for 4 years I was a full professor at the University of Pennsylvania.
So, and it was
I
Big
can
Ten.
do anything.
Think we got that?
Jordan,
You know the song Convoy? Yeah. Boy. There's a guy named Big Ten in that song, I'm pretty sure.
I also, one time,
I'm doing my thing yet, making it up.
one time I was in my truck with my friend, and we had a CB radio, and we heard someone come on the radio say, hey, listen, it's not a joke. It's like pink champagne, man. Checked in the room next door to us.
And just to be clear, lies and blatant plagiarism actually forced this man, public servant, mind you, out of the race in 1988.
Seem to be claiming Emmett's vision and light would pass his own.
Why is my wife sitting out there in the audience? Is the first in her family to ever go to college.
What if you this the first woman in her family in 1,000 generations to be able to get to university?
My ancestors who worked in the coal mines.
Yeah, it was running in Germany.
Up after
Weird.
12 hours and play football.
He was lying about coal mines back then.
I think I probably have a much higher IQ than you do, I suspect. I went to law school on a full academic scholarship. The only
like
one
this.
in my class that had a full academic
That's also not true.
The stutter. Since he did not graduate in the top half of his Wall Street class, that he does not have 3 degrees from college, and that he was not named outstanding political science student in college.
Hold on a second. The worst part of that is that back in the 80s, he was bald.
Well, yeah, he's not anymore, isn't that?
He's not even honest about that.
Guarantee you, people like, you had some hair plugs? What? Just for now. On frozen rugs. Hair plugs. You were cheers, losers.
My power grows.
What a piece of shit! And by the way, I am very hesitant to accuse somebody of racism, Gerald notwithstanding. But if you're going to use the left standard, now I don't think that Biden has hate. I don't think that he has hate in his heart for colored folk. But if you use the left standard, there has been no politician in modern United States history more intensely racist than Joseph Robinette Biden.
You have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black. They're going to put you all back in chains.
I'm like the token black mainstream in America who is articulate and bright and clean and nice looking guy. I mean, that's a story. We already have a nigger mayor. We don't need any more nigger big shots. It doesn't matter whether or not they're the victims of society. The end result is they're about to knock my mother on the head with a lead pipe, shoot my sister, beat up my wife.
Corn Pop was a bad dude, and he ran a bunch of bad boys.
Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids. Holy shit!
Wow, did you say that out loud?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's aggressive racism. It's not like, I hate these colored people and they need to go, or it's not like that. It's like a subtle, like, I'm above you racism. It's like it's supremacy racism.
It's like telling my old aunt, I was like, hey, you know what? She said, get my money down. And I was like, I don't know. I mean, there's a chance. I don't know who
It's
the
like
driver
living as an exchange.
Yeah, I don't know who the driver is. Yeah. But, oh, look, it's 45. I guess so. So, here's the thing, too. And if you have to use the restroom, it's
Yeah, to the right.
yes.
I'm a restroom czar. You're doing a good job. Unlike
To be clear, we had a bit, and I was like, we're going to do the bit later. But we're going to actually do it on Friday morning show, live, 10 a.m. Eastern. We will be live on YouTube and on Rumble Friday morning because we're not doing a show tomorrow morning. And I actually believe that we will have Donald J. Harris. That's his real name, Kamala Harris's father. We have technical difficulties. He will be on Friday's show.
Kamala's daddy.
Kamala's dad.
Donald J. is Kamala's daddy.
That's a real thing. Stop. People are going to think it's not true. It's his real name. And we're having him on the show. I was really hard at getting him on the show.
Well, good job.
He said he doesn't like you. He said you're a very unlikable person.
It's not true.
Okay.
Coronactungus.
So let's get to some other key facts here. They're going to try and tell you that, and keep this up here, Sienna. We're going to go back to them and fact check all of it. that former Vice President Biden is a nice person. Somebody lies. Maybe he's a compulsive liar. I knew a compulsive liar when I got to high school. And he acted like, for example, one time he told me that he had a glass of boat, but I knew that his family was very poor. And this, like, it's not even impressive. They impressed me as a 14-year-old class. Make the list. The point is, he lied on everything. Joe Biden does that, but it doesn't necessarily make him a bad person. There are other things that make him a bad person. And if nothing else, can we all agree, comment below, or hit the like button if this, and this, I don't just say this is not a hollow statement. President Donald Trump, you may hate him, you may think he's a prick, he seems to have done pretty well with his kids, and his kids love him. And he has a close relationship with all of his children and his grandchildren. You may not even like his kids, but his kids love him, and his grandchildren love him. So much so that his granddaughter spoke at the RNC. He's very actively involved in their lives. Yeah. He hasn't denied the existence of any of them, as far as I know at this point. Sure. Biden, we'll get to that, but let's just start with this. He lied, and he said that the man who killed his wife in a car accident was drunk. That was not true. He ruined the reputation and life of someone. He's a bully. He had a platform that the man did not, because he wanted to be a perpetual victim. That's something that only a piece of shit would ever do or say. The other thing is, contrast with Donald Trump, who he goes after the elite, he goes after those in power, he goes after those in three-letter agencies, he goes after the DNC, he goes after corruption. Former Vice President Biden goes after the American voter. He reviles you plebes.
I'm not going to get involved in this. No, I don't know. But I didn't do it, but
Hold fast to your resolve, cousin, and climb on toward the surface. No matter how often your foothold falters, I am here.
And present danger to our democracy. If you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black.
You know, whenever I discuss issues, like we do black and white on the gray issues, it's not lost on me that I'm a white dude, that I wear my glasses, you say I look like Clark Kent, I get it, but can you just answer me a question? And it usually go, oh, all right, let's talk. I had no concern for that at all. I was like, look, I'm going to tell you black people what it's like to be black, because, and I know you're saying, why? Because it's a piece of shit. That's why.
That's supreme racism. Yes. It's the I want you to have all the things that we have, but I want you to know I'm better than you at the same time.
Yes. But hold your nose, because here comes the cold water. I want you to, rather than remove yourself from politics, that people are celebrities, imagine if someone in your family, or someone you close your eyes, in your mind, picture someone in your life doing what I'm about to tell you, that verifiably Joe Biden has done. In terms of the fact that may make you really sad, because it's just that shit. Former Vice President Biden refused to acknowledge the existence
Of course he did.
isolate her, to cut her. It's not an inclusive name. This is a bad person. March in 2024, he didn't even mention her when he went through the list at Women's Day. Right, they had this commemoration.
That's really going to drop up and boom.
Oh, go ahead, sorry. Go ahead.
We have London Roberts actually speaking out. We've got a video clip of her talking.
In 2018, she became pregnant. First, she says, "I'm was supported."
That's it.
He knew that.
dude. This is the worst right here. Yeah. This is the worst. Like, there's other things that you go, the president, this little girl.
You're just an animal. You're just an animal. You're just a fucking animal. That's all there is.
You know, my mom's family, there's a lot of people that don't get along. There's multiple dads. There's sexual stuff that happened with one of them. It's all these different things that happen, but you'd be hard pressed to not let that, to see it not claim. Yeah. Not even claim, like, you know, it's one thing to be an absentee grandfather, or I'm the president, I don't have time, you know, yada yada, but not even claim her and act like it's not yours. Yeah. She doesn't exist. The fact that he had to go to court and be, that's the least respect to take care of children. Yep. You have them and you make them not take care of children. I the least respect. Just all respect for you. As a child, they deserve their grandfather. Or you know it's a child that's broken home. You know your son's not going to be
Push forward, noble cousin. I shall be keen to see you circumvent the perils that the fates arranged for you this time.
You're one of the richest people in the country. You're the most person in the world.
The shield of light.
I've had broke-ass grandma give me $20. Try to reduce from them, they won't, because they got to do something. Yep, exactly. $20 is good. I want to have my grandma. I think this is the most shower. Exactly. Yep. Take her home. Personality of this. However, just sort of the benefit of the doubt, he may have been spending this time fondling, sniffing, or otherwise making other young girls intensely uncomfortable.
What a fight.
Right. Dude, get the fuck away. Fuck.
Into the U.S. Senate. Got a lot of things to get in.
It's not just that he behaves that way.
You've met Athena, dearest, so you
It's
know
that
not all the
he has
ladies on
no
Olympus are
concern
alike.
that anybody
And I, for one,
is
am grateful to
actively
our forebears for
so you
that.
have a guy, he lied about everything from his schooling, to his ethnicity, to his qualifications, to, for crying out loud, his GPA, to his speeches, which he plagiarized. He lied about his records. He lied about which jobs he worked. He's been incredibly racist by the left standard by trying to accusing Donald Trump of being a racist. He also denied the existence of his own granddaughter, while at the same time, similar to, I can't say strikingly similar to an active pedophile who they were in your neighborhood collecting signatures. So while they right now on CNN, including Rhino, and Rhino calls him, gee golly, he's a bad president, but a good guy. No, former Vice President Biden is absolutely, in my opinion, if you disagree, below a piece of huge. Speech was good. Very awesome. That felt like, oh, Gerald? What? Oh, they put on cards. Oh, yes. Look at this. I'm not even my wood-burning set, but I still have scars from it. Hey, look at this shirt right here. This is the shirt he pointed at. He pointed at that shirt. Fight like hell. Go right now. Enter in promo code DROPOUT for 20% off. 20% off. Code DROPOUT.
He's a good thing.
He's no 40. I'll tell you that. He pointed at me. Chance Holiday, the male equivalent. He did this, which I'm not sure what this is. Like, no, that's not. It's raised fist for this. It's okay. And we are going to get the fact check. The section. Can I get 5 sales on the
promise you that the extreme age exceedingly well. Let's see what CNN is doing right now. They're going to be talking about his message of unity. And yeah, push back a lot. Yeah, he does.
Thank you, and I hear what you're saying.
But you're full of crap.
I think what you're asking Republicans to do
I think I see a fish.
is to overlook. They came right out, right out of the president. And Democrats, they're asking. Joe Biden escaped
Are you trying to finger? Shut up, you little sprite.
About Joe Biden. He arrived at this.
Hold your ground. Hold your ground.
With a little.
Don't let that little son of a bitch sashay across that table and tell you what's what.
A little bit of a push. A little bit of a push from the party.
Concluded that this was the party bosses were reflecting, the consensus of the American people who made a judgment. But Scott, I mean, there's so many Republicans who I talk to who are overlooking far more than this, and they'll tell you that about Donald Trump. I mean, that is really the.
But Donald Trump never said he was putting the American people before himself and stepping out of a race after closing a primary down, after lying about his health, after saying he was the guy less than 24 hours before dropping out.
Right. Donald Trump, it's funny, but this is a great irony. For someone who believes that many of our institutions, and he doesn't believe the institution, for example, the Supreme Court, he understands the separation of powers. Donald Trump actually went through the appropriate. He hasn't tried to do it with the Electoral College. He hasn't tried to do it with the Supreme Court, and he won the primary every time. He's actually won it, despite fighting upstream against an RNC who doesn't want him to be there. You can say whatever you want. That's not subverting democracy.
And the committee could have said the same thing that the Democrats do. He could have said the same thing they did in 2016. They could have been like, yeah, but you're not the candidate. We're going to put Mitt Romney or whatever the hell.
So we're going to put somebody else in, or Hillary.
They could have done that, and they didn't do that. So you're sitting here talking to Republicans.
Yeah. If Joe Biden had a medical emergency after an open primary, which he got through because the American people got a chance to look at him and say, you know what, even with his issues, he's still our guy, then that would be different. But they closed it down, guys. I don't think we've talked about this enough. 14.6 million people roughly voted for Joe Biden, not Kamala Harris. She's received 0 votes, 0 delegates in 2020 or now.
That's not true. You're forgetting the wet T-shirt.
That's 100% true. I do apologize. She was a side piece. Nobody voted for her. Everybody voted for Joe Biden. Joe Biden said he's the guy. Nothing about that changed other than the party coming together and saying, hey, the money's drying up, the polls look bad, we should probably step aside, no matter what the American people have said. That is not how democracy works. I'm sorry, it's not. We don't focus on that enough because we're like, don't worry about it. He's going to get beat. Kamala Harris is going to be, no matter who they put up, they're going to get beat. That's true, and we should focus on the race. But this is the greatest version of democracy in our lifetime, and CNN right now is cheering it on.
Yep. And by the way, even though it's technically equal, I don't think that anyway, that's going to go anywhere. Also, there's a money that was drying up, but the 90-something million, I don't have the exact number in front of us, somewhere around the 100 million mark. That's it. Harris ticket just got transferred over to Kamala and unknown. Here.
Harris, butt juice.
That's think about that. You're talking about not 7 figures, not 8 figures. Yeah, wait, 8 figures. Yes, 8 figures. Sorry, I'm up to 9. Is it not?
100 million is 9.
Yeah, 100 million. Yeah, exactly. It's not quite 100 million yet that was directly transferred, but overall now she's over 100 million. She didn't even have to go through the last time she faced a primary, she got the same amount of votes before she could run for in her home state of California. We'll see her.
Now, one guy drops out of the fight. And they replace the fighter. Is the first day the same?
Well, there's a shell and win money, and the shell money is much lower. They renegotiate the other.
If he has to there in another arena, if they lose
it's debate. Americans are Joseph out there and saying this is the sharpest I've ever seen Joe Biden. Before his entire life, they closed out RFK because they didn't like him. They closed out anybody else, Joe Manchin, who kind of wanted to run and see a challenge in there. Shapiro's going to go in there. We know.
Why do you say Shapiro? No one else said Spyro is, no, it's another character. It's a name of somebody else.
Spyro the Dragon.
They all wanted to run, and they said, no, this is what they did with Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton. They boxed him out and said, well, no, that's democracy. And then for him to pull out the race because of that, guys, that doesn't make any sense. I understand it. Yeah, but you can't do it.
Election Integrity Commission. She signed on with Jimmy Carter, with Jimmy Carter, Elizabeth Warren, maybe. They were saying the election verifiably false. Right, as far as the few, the Steele dossier fusion, is it Fusion GPS, I believe.
Yes, yeah.
All of this was fake. She was. So I want to ask you a question, and I mean this. If they were willing to say that the election was fraudulent when Donald Trump won, Stacey Abrams still has kind of considered the election was fraudulent. They cheated there. Okay. If they're going to change mail-in voting according to the state constitution of Pennsylvania, if there are states that don't require voter ID, if they illegally suppress stories of the American people that are legitimate, like their lives, they did that. And then in this election, follow me. In this election, they lied to you for 4 years. The lies, right now, they're a continuation of the lies for 4 years. So they lied to you into that this man was mentally fit when everybody knew that he wasn't. That's why he campaigned from his basement. They used COVID as an excuse. If they've lied to you about jobs, they've lied to you about crime. They've lied to you about him being fit. They've lied to you about him pulling out of this election, that he was going to be the candidate. They've lied to you continually, only so that they could pull a switcheroo at the last minute and install somebody, give her $100 million, give or take, don't fact check me on that, somewhere between $90 and $100 million, so that she could be installed, even though she didn't win her home state. She got 2% in a primary in California as the choice of the American people. Wow, celebrities endorse her, raise tens of millions of dollars. The media tells you that most supporters are people they have. They can her, that she's for the high-school supporters are. They tell you that she had rally, despite the fact that she's really from a high school today, that they will listen to lie to you about all of these things just to maintain their grip on power. Don't become complacent. What do you think they're willing to lie about? What tricks do you think they're willing to pull in this election? All bets are off. Yeah. This is the party. This is the mob. The shakedown artists.
I have good news, sir. I located the contract binding you and brought it out.
About
it's
our constitutional republic, about your rights, whether it's your First Amendment rights, your Second Amendment rights. They don't care about. What do you think they will pull this election? And that's why we've invested millions of dollars into November 5th, 2024. It's the election live stream of the century, the Rumble on Rumble. We need your support.
With fewer chains and torture devices and such.
There's no reason to watch legacy media.
You're much too kind to this old soul, Prince said. The thing is, this is home.
Until that election is over, we have boots on the ground in every major city, every major swing state. We have the news wires, we have real-time data analysts. No tricks. Nothing happens in darkness in this election. If they would lie to you about all that for the last 4 years, non-stop,
you mean you're really going to stay? Even though you don't have to.
They lie to you about. They don't care.
Is that so odd, Highness? Don't see myself having walked boldly out of here besides. And if I were to leave, why, we would not be having these exchanges now and then.
Because we know that this is the most important election of our life.
Now, here you go.
That's why we do what we do.
Very much.
And you've never heard me say that before. You've heard me be the skeptic. You've heard me say, everyone always said it's the most important election of your lifetime. But yeah, it's important. It's not even close. It's not even
just
close.
The thing.
And that's what we're preparing to do. What we've done. And I appreciate your support.
You said, what will they do? What will they do next? I think after what they've done now,
time after time without so much as asking anything in return. I wanted to say I'm very grateful and thought you might like to try this.
I think
Here, for a special
if people
occasion.
accept that, sky's the limit.
Why,
It really is. They can do whatever they want. That party, if they'll take
I've
this,
not so much as seen a bottle of
they'll
it, much
take
less
COVID,
sampled it.
and they'll take the
Thank you
last
so
3.5 years, they'll take
with all
anything
respect,
that the Democratic
I
Party
cannot
throws at
rightfully
them.
accept such a
They know,
fine gift.
vote blue, no matter who, they're
Unless-
fucking slaves, robots
Unless,
to the machine.
oh no, you're not making me take something in
they'll do
return.
anything.
You know this was a gift, not an exchange,
Let's
sir,
go to
right?
a fact check here. I know that
Wait,
he
what
talks
is
about
that?
NATO. I know he
His
talks
Highness
about
is a
border
little friend
crossing.
of mine
We
kept
get
tucked away in
you
Goldie's
but you're
camp.
on butts,
Right, so we've got the clip that we're going to play, and then we're going to have the fact check that follows that. So let's start off really quickly with the border crossing. So clip border crossing speech. 10.
This is a mint condition shady you just gave to me.
Crossings are lower
I'm so
today
grateful. I will
when the
keep him
previous
safe.
administration left office.
All right.
They are not. So, I mean, I got to scroll back up. There was literally so many fact checks here. I'm going back up to it. I'm sorry. I thought they were going to throw it in there.
Is he saying? I know it's over 10 million.
Is he saying
overall
border crossings like at actual checkpoints?
Border crossings.
Not counting the.
All right. Let's just so Gerald can be said. Play that clip one more time. So here's the plane. Here's the plane.
Problems securing our border. Border crossings are lower today than the previous administration left office.
Here's the truth. June 2024 crossings, 83,000. The average under Trump was 40,000.
Cheers, mate.
So
That's half. That's like twice the amount.
A bad.
And you know what they're lying about? When he was going into this election, they sort of got a little bit strict on it for about a week. That's what they're trying to lie about. As far as the next fact check, is it? Are we going to NATO or what's the next one?
By the way, the average under Biden is 200,000 a month. So even if you go average for it's bad. It gets bad. It gets worse, and it gets real.
The average under Donald Trump was 40.
Better.
And then it's 200,000. The average under Joe Biden. So that's more than 4 times more.
Some would say. I think that's exactly.
Mathematician.
She was pretty good at that stuff.
Would say.
You know, technically you're right, but you could have been more precise. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay. So let me go to. We'll make all these references, by the way, available. Link in the description, livewithcredit.com. Everything this man just said tonight was live. He's not a good man. He's not even.
Someone with a clip and then they can just quickly reply with
But in defense of democracy,
So breaking the pivot for an egg. Here's the factor on that 14. 5, 6, 4. Codes. Oh, I thought you were showing your tank day in high school. No, that wasn't this hole. Wasn't it? Rip. But it was also referred to sometimes as.
So how is it really possible that you can claim you're protecting democracy when, you know, basically either somebody can forget the vote? All right, let's go to violent.
Glad that's over.
50-year low. That seems. You know what? Murder is not down below to pre-COVID levels. So the murder rate, you see right there, that far right, that's where murder is. Just go back a few years. Oh, that's higher than that.
Yeah.
Years ago.
That's pretty tough.
Spiked, but murder's kind of a big one because you don't come back from that.
It's a big one.
I mean, it's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, you should care about it because Kyle's doing blow dryers the last that.
That's true. He's not going to cut an anime. Yeah, I think he's good.
In the West Wing?
You know, she's the pussy, right? Anvil's over every giveaway.
Yeah, I know.
She's been doing that for a long time. Really?
Today, when he gave a speech in the chip for falling pianos.
So, all right, let's go to Scottish Reform. The Scottish Reform speech.
Democracy.
Democracy, apparently, but his Scottish Reform is basically a code of ethics and term limits. But here's the fact check on the fact check. You've got the MSNBC thing. MSNBC came out and said, that ain't enough. We gotta add the seats, bro.
So take out the CA by changing it. Wait, hold on a second. Is it the letter from Jill? Okay, who gives a shit? All right, let's continue.
Yeah, so basically Joe Biden is like, I'm going to protect the court. And MSNBC is like, hey, that's not what we want. We are the Democratic Party, not you anymore because you're not running for president anymore. You don't have any power.
He says, I'm going to protect the court by doing away with traditions and norms of the court. And then MSNBC says, you're not doing enough to destroy the autonomous power of the court that's separate and apart from the executive and legislative branch. Check out our buzz-cutted lesbian chain gang of hosts.
Yeah, you should add the exact number of justices we need. Yeah.
Yes, just only that. Yeah. Or two, depending. So each, you're miss. Look, I fact check you. But each justice has a plus one or two.
Well, listen, admonish me then.
Yeah, I mean, depending on how many, not the same plus ones for vice president. That's not how they
Oh, they fucked you over, Gerald. Whoa! Whoa!
But you should be ashamed. All right,
right, so let's go to Cliff Wages' speech. Cliff Wages.
That's a good one. 16 million new jobs a record.
See, I was.
One second before you do. Good Lord, I wish that we had fire response because we have to practice firearm safety responsibility. I just throw a loaded gun so it's small. Go ahead.
You can have one right here. Maybe swallow the sword. So here's the truth. Family needs to make approximately $15,000 more just to live as they did in 2021. We had some other luckily they're relying on adding semi-conference. Yes, they are. Thank you, Joe. You mentioned inflation is up 20%. I forgot. Yeah, the rate of inflation.
It's actually worse than we've seen in modern history. Also, I know Carter said what? Yeah. Well, Jimmy Carter said, everything's going to go in peace now because I'm not the worst. So, something else. If wages under Donald Trump's the first 3 years, the average annual salary is over $4,000, right? When actually that's inflation. Under former Vice President Biden, they went down approximately $4,100. I know it's a record. I'll provide the references for you once it's archived because I know the lies they're going to tell before they tell them. I'm sure we have more fact checks. And then we'll go to CNN because I have more to call myself.
I mean, well, you're saying yourself, you're the problem. Like, we almost broke the chat feature on so weird because I'm not kidding you. It's like, fact check the entire time. So they're actually recycling. You know, they had 74 fact checks. Here's 3. Okay,
this is our chat or Mud Club chat?
This is our chat. Internal.
Because we also appreciate Mud Club chat.
Yes, I'm loving it right now.
Yes. Thank you, Mission Control.
Actually, an embarrassment of riches of information that I have.
Well, let's just keep going.
Yeah.
We're not going to stop on this party.
Well, do me a favor, guys. If I've missed anything, I'm going to go to NATO next. So maybe
your NATO party like a Biden fact-checking party because Biden is hold on, wait, everybody shut up because the man who serves the country.
Oh, yes.
Wants to speak.
That's my mom with this beer. So $4,000 annually. That's for $1,000 off $4,000. So what they won't mention, what they also won't mention is the tax rates. They get doubling the child tax credit and doubling the standard, whatever. Yeah, what was I saying? But it's the standard deduction.
Yeah.
Double that, double the tax credit for younger kids.
When Joe Biden said no taxes will go up, although they did. For anyone making less than $400,000, what's the neither here nor there?
It's actually right there.
No, we're not going to do that. No, I can't continue the fact that we want to do this on the field. I mean, some of those one things that Biden is comparing to, make sure we're not on a clip.
But here is a claim most recently from the readers.
Well, he's Persian, and a Jew,
and
black, and Italian and Polish, and not a pedophile.
Go on, he is a pedophile. So, the racial wealth gap is at its lowest. Okay. So during COVID, Dems locked down, the economy gap between white and black households increased by $50,000. I'm sure they won't be at $50,000.
Well, they know stuff.
Black people, why are you voting for Robinett's the extension? I'm sorry, Harris, with the policy the same. By the way, it's black people also vote. Harris was voted the most liberal senator. She voted to the left of Joe Biden. Her policies were more radical, and they are scrubbing this. I think they're scrubbing this right now, saying, "Oh, well, at the end of the term, we actually looked at it, and the result changed." No, the article you cited the dates of the entire term. She is the most liberal senator. She was senator, and the wealth gap got worse under Biden. Let's see if she had full reign, what it would do.
Can't confirm to the left, every little coming bitch in a box to the left.
That's lyrics go, but it's close. NATO. Any facts on NATO?
All right, we have a clip. We got this one. Before we get back to back check on this, I just look. This is one thing we do this, and just so you know, a lot of people out there in politics, they either assume you're dumb or you're in a think tank. Right now, you watching, I know you could be a doctor, you could be literally a rocket scientist, you could have a PhD, but you don't live in politics like we do 24/7. And And so you just need the information to confirm what your liars know to already be true. With NATO, I'm just going by rote, but I want to make sure that I've never had somebody take my word for it. Donald Trump was the first president to actually force people to leverage people into paying their fair share. It was supposed to be, I believe it was either 2%, I believe it was 2% of your GDP on NATO spending. We were the only nation that was even close. We're spending close to 4%. And after Donald Trump, President Donald Trump, other nations said, like, oh, we make a statement, right? We expect the Americans to save us, but let's go to the clip. Ugly piece of shit. Joseph Red Robinette by all right, Joe, thank you.
No, he's not asking you to pay any more of their fair share. The thing is that here's what Trump did with NATO. Bring it up. There we go. Everybody's supposed to be paying 2%, like you said. He actually got people sort of doing it for the first time in history. You know what he said? He said things like, good luck, everyone pissed off about it. It's like, well, if you don't pay your fair share, I don't think we should be coming to your defense.
Yes.
And every American, you behind that. I know. I mean, you can hate the guy. Not behind that as an American. I know. Pay your fair share, or we won't come to your defense. In fact, maybe Russia shouldn't pay you. He's basically goading them into it, but they should be doing it.
No, what he's saying is, hey, if you were doing this correctly, following international law that you agreed to, then maybe you wouldn't have such a problem. Look, I know you bitch about America and our military, how we're an evil empire, but I look at social safety nets, right? People say, we look at Canada, great social free healthcare, okay?
Okay.
Protect your own country, your own borders.
Go.
It all goes away.
Yeah, you can do that. Because we fucking got your back, you dumb fucking dumb
For the rest of the free world to remain free while they bitch about how we do it, Joe Biden got back of his knees to tell the rest of these nations that he loved them and if they're not feeling any sense of urgency to spend what they were under Donald Trump. Let's continue on with the fact check. Mission Control doing a great job.
You should note that when Trump was speaking, and I'm not going to go to the clip for this, but when Trump was speaking, like, hey, you guys probably shouldn't be dependent on Russian gas. Germany was like, see, I Russian gas. Yeah. Hey, you don't know they did that.
It's a force of habit. It's a hard one to break.
And Trump was like, what? I said, I'm not going to use your language. I said, but they actually got yes,
Good job. Yeah.
I'm just saying,
Good job.
There was Crimea, and then everyone's right after there was Ukraine, and but
also, he's the
that's a big one, the Abraham Accords, right?
So, Donald Trump, don't just tell
Yes, look, yes,
it's at home.
Yes, I love that game. Here's they have the practice, so you should be fine. Here's the thing. You know what actually that's I think what the vice president says. There's attention to China. I changed that. Donald Trump, and I've said this before, I was I forgot what the financial thing was. Well, yeah, I'm sure that it's great. There's just no way. I have a lot of relatives who are mostly. I kind of thought of the level. President Donald Trump. I'm not ashamed of it, but I'm wrong. It's actually, for me, it's celebratory. Made me very aware that does not have to be the case. He's the only president in modern American history to take a stand. So comment below if you think anyone is buying that Joe Biden is telling China, even though we don't have the information on exchanging hands with the big guy when you talk about their Biden's laptop. But I believe we have a clip of Joe Biden making this claim, and then, of course, we have some reference on it.
Guys, not everything. I tried that. It's a
one yes.
No.
Right.
Hold on. challenges.
Yeah. I like that. Well, why do you think Trump's case when he says stuff like, yeah, it's a very powerful man, great economy, knows what he's doing, great leader, all this kind of stuff, but I'm gonna stop.
Right. Yeah.
Why can't they? Right there. Right. He just did it. Where he goes, they said it's inevitable, they're gonna take over, they're gonna be a superpower. They're not. Bullshit. They're not. So why can't you just say it? Why can't you say, yes, they're good at what they're doing, he's great at what he's doing.
Give me an example.
We need to stop it. We need somebody to recognize
Winston Churchill, people don't even think about his quote where he said you cannot negotiate with a tiger with a president. He was calling Hitler and the Nazis a tiger. He was acknowledging their power, saying, look, we need her. There's no benefit to simply underestimating your enemy. And make no mistake, China is the enemy of the free world. Quick, simple fact check, Captain Morgan.
All right, so Biden did keep the tariffs in China from the Trump administration. One of the very good things that he did, but it slammed Trump in the process, saying that his tariff policy in China was bad move. Nonetheless, he did keep it there. But here's the thing: China is a superpower. Nobody is complaining about that. The BRICS thing, the sea, that's China. That is a big deal. Everybody's talking about how oil could be traded in additional currencies, and that's a really big problem for the United States dollar. And as a show of force, not just economic, but a show of force, as recently as I think today or maybe even yesterday, we intercepted 2 different sets of jets near China, Russian bombers and Chinese bombers.
Wow.
That we intercepted, NORAD tracked those things, and that was, I think, today. It may have been yesterday that it happened. Yeah. So today, Joe Biden, I think they're kind of a superpower right now. Their economy is growing and they are unchecked. Maybe it's because you're too busy cashing the check that's 10% for the big guy. I don't know. Maybe you've turned a blind eye to some of the things that are.
That's not a simple fact check, by the way. That was kind of wordy.
That was a lot of fact checking.
Yeah, true. Yeah,
checking
that was kind of wordy. But I think the main point is he continued the policy.
Near Alaska. That intercept was near Alaska.
He continued the policy of the tariffs on China, but he has. It's kind of a miracle. China and Russia, they really shouldn't be good bedfellows.
They're not.
But Joe Biden, he's a matchmaker.
Yeah. And saying, and then keeping the tariffs, and then bashing Trump, the guy who put the tariffs in place. After keeping the tariffs, that's like a girl bashing her boyfriend for calling her fat, then breaks up with him, and then immediately loses 50 pounds and says, "Look how great I look." That piece of shit called me fat.
I know that girl.
They're like, what?
She looks great.
I mean, she does look
You
great.
should have done it for yourself, not for the approval of others. Because now you're healthier, and no one can take that away from you.
Yes.
We have more to continue to fact check.
I think that's about. Well, I mean, we talked about the balloon. Relative to China, we let a balloon kind of traverse the entire, length, width, and breadth of the United States a couple of times because, balloons are dodgy and hard to shoot down.
All right, well, let's go and see what CNN is saying, and I'm sure John Roll has clips from. Thank you so much, people. Yeah, absolutely. Because I was still playing this game of Gerald back. Yeah, it's my birthday. Yeah.
Oh no! Oh no!
That's what makes this nation great. And I think before we get split up on something appreciating that fact, and not just about Joe Biden, but about who Kamala Harris represents, and about who we want.
Fuck you.
So I want to play some things some Republicans have been saying about President Biden is to get out of the union.
Here's the time where they vilify Republicans.
It's clear these guys don't actually care about democracy. They don't care about the will of the voters. They just care about power.
Those 15, 16 million Democrat primary voters, they don't matter. Now the Democrats are
How is this wrong?
It's hysterical. I mean, it looks like they're saying an insurrection.
Hey, why'd they play this on Absolute?
14 billion people went through the process and chose this nominee, Joe Biden. Now a handful of people have gotten.
I want to see CNN rebuttal to this. I want to see their defense of this.
They're violating democratic principles.
I mean, Mike Johnson, Liz Cheney has said that he played a key role in trying to overturn the 2020 election. She wrote in her book that
if Liz Cheney said it, then it must be
when I
bitchy.
confronted him with the flaws in his legal arguments, Johnson would often concede or say something to the effect of, "We just need to do this one last thing." For Trump, worse, she says. He
Hold
Oh,
on a second, guys.
Something to the effect of,
It does seem kind of hypocritical.
Made a comment regarding democracy, our constitutional republic, the fact that someone is being installed. 14 million people voted for Biden. They're saying that's wrong, that's not democratic. And these people, right now, are actively trying to. Well, but Liz Cheney said this January 6th. These people, they're the enemy of the American people. And that is why November 5th, 2024, these people are not going to determine. They will not be counting the votes. It's not just local representatives or the DNC counting the votes. It's the media undergirding them. This will be the only place where we ensure that you know it is bullshit in real time. Remember last time when even Fox News, they all called Arizona with less than, was it 10% or 2% of the vote? Mission Control can fact check me on that.
Higher than that.
We were here, and that was a turning point for me. I felt so helpless. I said, I know that can't be right. And by the way, it's a state that was determined by a mere 10,000 votes total. That's less. That's less than a semi-pro sports team arena. Think about that.
that's in the Oakland A's for sure.
Yes, absolutely. I don't understand the sports reference, but I'm sure it's correct.
Okay,
You're right. Yes.
But that's what, and it was a turning point for me where I said, I kept thinking and ruminating, contemplating, meditating, saying, how can we ensure that this never happens again?
Yeah.
No one in new media had an answer. And so we've been thinking and preparing to make sure that we have an answer. These people, CNN, MSNBC, ABC, NBC, CBS, CNBC, and by the way, YouTube, Google, Facebook, Instagram, they're the enemy of a free people. Be very, very clear about that. And that's why we're betting it all on black on the election night, because we know that that's a night where you need people to serve you, and they're not doing it. Yeah. Look at their pivot right now. I want to see their answer as they continue to try and rebut this.
I certainly question his ability to stay.
Voters got new information when the debate happened. I think a lot of us.
New information? She's a Republican who worked on Donald Trump. That's what she's their token. Former Trump White House communications director. She looks like one.
He was not the coronated candidate. He had not accepted the party's nomination yet. Kamala Harris, when they voted in the primary, they knew they were voting for her as vice president. So I wouldn't argue she didn't actually get any votes.
I mean, this was tough inside the party, though. I mean, the arguments that you're making, Scott, were actually arguments that were being made.
And I hate to say it, but I'm going to need another one because someone's hairspray got in this. It tastes like watermelon lip gloss.
It was hard for us.
Which is
my body spray.
It's nice to smell.
It's a drink. And the fact that, frankly, a lot of African Americans voted was real source of rug burn and heartburn inside the party. But
not to be confused with half Kamala Harris sunburn.
Right, more rules. And the rules allowed for this. And people, you vote for the delegates. And ultimately, it's the delegates that make the decision. And so it's the delegates.
Yes, to save democracy, talk about the technical issues of the rules that allow them to screw you. And then go cry again over what a great party it is, Van Jones.
And then these cocksuckers will say, well, Hillary got the popular vote.
Hey, don't talk about Kamala that way.
Decisions. I think the idea that just party bosses came in and knocked them off isn't right. But this was not easy for us. You are not wrong, Scott. There was real heartburn inside the party about this, but we are not a cult.
But take some Prevacid and shut the fuck up.
You're not a cult.
About our leader, and we decided that we had a responsibility to the country and to the party to give somebody else
sex with my wife. Information. Hold on. Listen. This has been my point all night.
Yeah, this
was not new information
for us.
Good job.
Hey, look, I gotta say something about this because
Bro, shut the fuck up.
I think that we're right wingers really think that we know all the time. We're just
You did! It was obvious. The American people knew. So, just to be clear, Van Jones' defense is, I'm an idiot.
No, that's true.
You think we knew that he wasn't mentally fit? Who will we know for Domino's? What do you think? We got a crystal ball? Do I look like a Zoltar on this motherfucker? Hey, I don't know, maybe 70% of Americans knew. 70% of Americans knew. And not one prick on a CNN panel knew. 70% of Americans believed he was unfit. And everyone on CNN, you didn't just say, we disagree with the American people, as you do now, because you hate a constitutional republic, you hate a representative government. You told them they were wrong and they were crazy.
the majority of your own voters said, this man is not fit. Maybe we need someone else. We need some kind of a primary at this point. And only you, CNN and NBC, ABC, CBS, and the fact checkers who are determined to be authoritative by Facebook and YouTube and Google, those are the only people on earth who thought that not only was former Vice President Biden fit, don't forget sheep fakes and the attacks on Donald Trump before the debate. Well, we should be looking into Donald Trump's mental fitness because we know how fit that Biden is. We all know it.
That's what they're saying now too.
No, look, I'm wrong.
They go.
So look at the speech that night. I told you about half of his speech was ad-libbed. He had 3,000 words. Donald Trump speech, 9,000 words ad-libbed that were not in the speech. 9,000. Joseph Biden couldn't do that if he strung all the words together and we counted that separately. Okay?
Best words.
If we counted that as 50 words, he couldn't do that. It wouldn't be possible.
He couldn't do it if he was following the bouncing ball to Schoolhouse Rock.
That's true. If he was just saying letters of the alphabet. But listen to me right now. When they go back to that panel, I want to go back. Because if he does not, and that person, I can't remember his name, has done a fantastic job of holding their feet to the fire. Van Jones, you are full of shit. You did not think that Joseph Biden was perfectly in shape to run for president. You said it because you wanted him to beat Donald Trump, and you didn't want this to be about his fitness. No one thought that. Go back to 2019. You can find my tweets. You can find Stevens, probably Nick DiPaolo's as well, saying this guy is not fit to run for president.
Go back to 2016. Go back to the election night.
I know. It's not even possible that they are the last people on the planet to figure out that this guy is not cognitively capable of being president of the United States.
And this man, Van Jones, comes on here today and says, we didn't know that. We didn't know he was unfit. Meanwhile, with a straight face, months ago, this year, saying, literally, he's in the best shape, the most fit he's ever been.
That was Joe Scarborough.
That was Joe Scarborough.
Yeah.
I know that both of you said Van Jones said too.
Joe Scarborough went harder in the paint than anyone.
Yes.
Van Jones actually.
Yeah, and it's like no one at 81 is going to be better than they were at 35.
There is no door number 3. It is either complete and total incompetence, in which case legacy media, your job no longer exists, or corruption and collusion, in which case your job no longer exists.
It's gone.
There is no door number 3.
Yeah.
You have to believe that Van Jones and Anderson Cooper actually were the only people left.
Mike Wallace, everybody on that panel
believe that Joe Biden was fit, that he was sharp, that he was the best Joe Biden we've seen. You either have to believe that they believed that or that they were lying to you.
You're carrying his water. It was never more clear than the fitness of Joe Biden, because then you said, oh, it's a speech impediment. He has had a stutter since he was a child. Then you said, oh, it's ageism. You're going after somebody for this. Then you said every other possible thing. By the way, Bernie Sanders.
Well, let's go to Bernie Sanders. He's going to say, I think he's a good man. But we've been here before. Shut.
I wish you would have been.
I'm going to work as hard as I can to see that Donald Trump, most dangerous president in American history, is defeated, and that Kamala Harris is, in fact, the next president of the United States. But before I make a formal announcement, I just want to make certain that the vice president is going to be campaigning on issues that the working class of this country, a working class that has long
for every household.
Russia is such a great place to vacation.
And I want to just make sure that the vice president will be working with President Biden, with me and others,
and in every house,
to demand that the wealthiest people in this country start paying their fair share of taxes. That when we have 50% of our elderly people living on $30,000 a year or less, that we expand Social Security benefits by lifting the cap on
ask an autist to do that. It's like Rain Man. He's counting toothpicks.
I want to hear
looking at the monitor, I bet.
In contrasting herself with Trump and making it clear that we have got to save this planet from climate change.
I believe
pro-union.
He believes Bernie.
For workers to join union, we raise the minimum wage,
but he believes Bernie.
Living wage, that we deal with the
Bernie votes for Bernie.
Yeah, he's wrong. Yeah, sure. I believe him.
Any major country. So we got to start focusing on issues that working class people desperately need to hear. When 60%
You mean the working class people who saw a $4,000 increase in their annual purchasing power? I think they saw it, Bernie.
Obviously, she's still looking for a governing partner at this time. We've seen the list of candidates that they are vetting right now. A lot of them are current members of the Democratic Party, and I wonder if when you look at that list,
And when
you'd like
my
to
wife
see her
embezzles
maybe
money from a community college in Vermont,
someone who has championed.
this is something that shouldn't be allowed to stick. But get reelected. I'm sorry, I interrupted you. Simpson's unibrow, baby.
A running mate, but I certainly would like to see somebody who has a history of standing up to the oligarchs who have so much power in this country.
Do you mean like Mark Zuckerberg? Do you mean like CEOs of Google and YouTube?
Bezos? Yeah, I certainly would like to see that person be the vice president.
Do you mean the single greatest transfer of wealth that we saw under COVID to the tune of trillions of dollars to the wealthiest 1% because of your policy of lockdowns? You guys can fact check that. You played a role in it. You were masking up like a pussy.
It is just possible for the 83rd time that Trump is lying. No, I don't think that is the case. I think that the vice president had a very strong record in.
Well, you tell us one lie, Bernie, and it's the one that matters most. That not just socialism, but communism works.
It does for him. Bread lines are great.
It's a good thing.
Lack of competition is a good thing.
It's a good thing.
I get to live fat and happy.
I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that she wins. But I just want to hope that in the next few days and weeks, we can make sure that we put together a campaign that focuses on the needs of working class. So make no mistake about it. I'm with her.
Hand out.
And I'm going to do everything that they can.
That screwed in 2016, and there's nothing I can do about it. Miss Collins, when we fight, it's a goddamn second win tunnel.
Senator Sanders, I just wanted to let you know Pete Buttigieg is going to be the selection. What do you?
Beautiful brave transportation secretary. I'm glad he took him 4 months to breastfeed his child. Also is disappointed in him.
Some 70% of the people in Israel in the last poll that was taken want to resign. So he came here and he got a good reception from the Republicans.
Aren't we glad I didn't do the macho?
By the way, hold on. Listen. Yeah. Hey, Biden, it's time for Biden. It's time for fresh, young voices. Kamala's 60.
I believe to be true.
That's not old. To 81, but 60 is not a young.
60. What's you?
I'm just saying.
That's a great point. That's a great point.
She hasn't been fresh in 39, right? Like, so that's a different.
So thanks for the endorsement, Joe.
Yeah. Hey, look behind you. There's her legs.
I don't know. It's like, it's time for those whippersnappers, the 60-year-olds, to take over. AARP hasn't gotten them yet.
You fascist son of a bitch. It's not time to bring
CNN was talking about that earlier. Yeah, her husband's, I don't know his name because it's not, she has her own name.
Whatever.
But her husband, the cuck, his ex-wife and their kids or whatever, the ex-wife's like, she helps with our kids or whatever.
Yeah. Don't say her womb looks like Dune.
I didn't. I said it looked like, you wouldn't get the Star Wars reference, but Tatooine.
Yeah. Oh, hold on. Biden, I revere this office, but I love my country more. When did that start? When was the flash of genius moment?
Well, everyone loves their.
No. Listen. I'm sorry. This doesn't get to go unanswered. When did the flash of genius moment happen? It never did. No. You were forced out. It's not democracy. That's power brokers. That's Alice Jones type stuff.
I was forced on the L train in 1982.
Also, how big was it?
It made Bernie Jenkins look positively like shrunk my car.
Bernie, you're an ignorant slut.
As he is maybe.
When he said, I love this, I revere his office, but I love my country more, you don't have to say that. We expect that, actually.
Yes!
What do you? Why just? Why now I don't believe you.
Yeah.
You said it. Now I don't believe you.
So the best
I haven't done Bernie Godfrey at least 3 years.
Yeah, I know. It's nice to hear him again. Sort of.
It was the least popular show ever.
I know.
Where Bernie
really
Godfrey hosted the entire Daily Ladder. When is this going to stop?
Hey, sir, get up here. You're pissing me off, bro. Got whacked in the face twice. Lay down. There's 3. Lay down! And stop booping everything with your snout so you don't get smacked all the time. You hear me? Do you hear me? With your snout. Be careful. You're going to keep getting whacked. You keep going snout. Stop it, please. I love you, but you're hurting yourself, okay? Yeah, I mean, I'm fucking back. Like, I'm fine. My knees are really hard, bro. I don't want to hurt you. Be careful, okay? You're a big boy now. You gotta be careful, okay? Okay, big boy. Okay, my big boy. Okay, my good dog. I love you. You're a good boy. Be careful, though. Don't hurt yourself.
He has a great organization. He has a ton of in places where she could use the help. And there are a lot of Democrats out there who love Joe Biden for kicking Trump out of the White House, but have kind of become demoralized and despondent even. There was
Please fill us in
Sunday afternoon.
why that may be, John King. Why were they demoralized? Donald Trump couldn't even post on X, for crying out loud.
They're demoralized because their liberal governor shut down their state and shut down small businesses and ruined lives and ruined the middle class.
By the way, just so you have a kind of an understanding of where these jets were intercepted near Alaska. That's kind of a big deal. Russia and China hanging out over there.
I mean, it's pretty close.
I mean, it's not supposed to be exact, but it's pretty close. That's not good. I don't think the bridge to nowhere is a big deal anymore. Let's move on.
You can see Russia from here.
Oh, that's not true. I've never seen your posterior, though, so I'm not sure.
Oh, that's rhyming. That's a good Democratic platform right there. You rhyme. All right, wait for that mixtape.
How's your voice?
It's more than EP.
Oh, boy.
Like Lincoln Park.
If I keep encouraging this, tomorrow's sketches will be great.
Which, by the way, was the 9/11 Lincoln Park's last EP. I think it's time to go to this week's +1.
Oh, really?
Things that Biden is confirmed to be doing in his retirement. You forgot to run in the chamber.
All right, this is actually this week's 7+1 things that former Vice President Biden will be doing and confirmed to be doing in retirement. Number 7, a long overdue father-son crack cocaine fishing trip.
Come on. You can't do crack.
Well,
And
Come on. Who doesn't like getting fucking sped up on the lake?
Alligator Gar loves the cocaine.
he knows. Don't let it near the Bears, though. Ends badly.
7+1 things that Biden will be doing in retirement confirmed. Number 6, Captain Morgan.
Working on his memoir.
Wow. Well, for people on audio, that's way worse.
That's
if you don't see it. It's the theater of the mind, they say.
A little bit.
7+1 things Biden will be doing in retirement confirmed. Number 5, Josh Firestein.
Settling his feud with Corn Pop in a winner-take-all pickleball match.
Well, that is racist. It's not fair. They're not known for playing.
Corn Pop has a beard.
Pickleball.
Corn Pop, he matured.
He didn't challenge him to a swim.
He's a bad dude.
Number 4, secretly hiding stakes under chairs at the DNC and letting Major loose. That is...
Take that dog on a walk or something. Christ.
How many Secret Service
You got a squeaky ball or something? Why even have a dog?
7+1 things Biden will be doing in retirement confirmed from our sources. Number 3, Captain Morgan.
Getting some ink.
Oh, well, that's, I got to say.
What's that say?
That's a lot of holy crap. Yeah, I heart Ashley. That's fun. We know.
7 plus 1 things Biden will be doing in retirement. Number 2, Josh.
Starting his new podcast called The Joe Biden Experience.
Man.
And
Sleeping all day.
All day. And the number 1 thing that Biden will be doing confirmed in his retirement is actually taking part in his new reality series, Ice Cream Road Truckers. That is
not
That's not fair to the melody. And the plus 1 is figuring out who Kamala Harris is. What? I don't even know. Well, I guess that's true. That's been this week's 7 plus 1.
You forgot to run in the chamber.
Well, so did her dad, so did her Indian mother. Her dad was like,
hey, don't talk about Jam like that.
My mom's name is Shimon. And your dad's name is what? Donald J. Harris? Yeah, spelled.
He listed himself as Caucasian on his on her birth certificate, I think.
Really?
Yeah. So what part of her is black?
I don't know.
We're still
hold on.
casting.
She was the first. Hold on, guys. Research pulled this up. I think in 2016, Donald Trump tweeted this out. She was the first Indian senator.
South Asian.
South Asian.
She doesn't say Indian.
Senator.
She says Asian. Which,
Yeah.
by the way, I don't know an Indian person. I know a lot of them. I don't know one that calls himself Asian.
Oh, the mother
Not
listed
one.
as
Technically,
Caucasian. Sorry.
I'm Asian. I mean, I'm Indian, but it's technically
Thank you,
Asian.
Georgie boy. I appreciate it.
It's like, I don't think Egyptians call themselves Africans.
All right, here we go.
Can I ask the Black Mud Club member something?
Insider pulled
Yeah,
up.
hold on. He wants to ask the Black Mud Club or something.
Black Mud Clubbers. Who would you rather have, Kamala Harris or Rachel Dolezal?
Charlemagne.
Oh, nah, I'm not gonna add him.
Oh,
God.
Let me know.
That's a good question because we're going to
Rachel Dolezal did things for black people.
Yeah, at OnlyFans.
Well, that was after.
Come on. I don't know about that. That's true.
What?
It was subsidized.
California's Kamala Harris becomes first Indian American U.S. Senator. This is AP, by the way, November 8th of 2016. Let's just, I mean, but then she became the first black vice president.
Of course.
Depending on, I mean, this is like Joe Biden's playbook where he just claims all of the different, races.
Well, he's green.
Her campaign slogan was, "I can't believe it's not butter chicken."
That's good and also bad.
What is it?
What do you mean, where to go? You have it in your
And by the way, we know, look, a lot of people out there, tonight just thought, this is kind of par for the course. I will say, very proud of what the team has put together. I don't think that they could have done a better job helping us fact check this live. My voice is shot. Thank God we didn't do the interview with Macho Man Randy Savage.
Oh God, because
that would have been pretty tough.
Yeah,
because it's also terrible because he's a fan of Bernie, and
is he really?
Yeah.
I thought he was dead.
Yeah.
Now we can't tape it tomorrow.
No. And look, go to louderwithcrowder.com/mugclub. Or right now, if you're watching on Rumble, if you're watching on YouTube, I appreciate you, but I may not like you. Go to Rumble, click that button. That's what allows us to, election night, mark it in your calendar, the election live stream of the century, Rumble on Rumble. No more tricks. Nothing happens in darkness. If you saw this tonight, and you saw the response from CNN, MSNBC, all of the leftists on Twitter, you already should have a good idea as to the playbook. And if you're still not alarmed, please check the references that we make publicly available to you in the link in the description, louderwithcrowder.com. Also, we have more 3 and 3s. We received your feedback coming up, I believe, next week. Look, people sometimes ask, like, hey, what is the goal here with what we do? And yeah, it's an entertainment show. It's really to be the only comedy show out there that hasn't endorsed Hillary Clinton or Joe Biden. But it's an army. And I don't mean that as far as political violence. I mean an army of people who can go out and change minds yourself. That has been why we have set out to do what it is that we've worked so hard at hopefully accomplishing. Eventually, it's why we've remained independent. It's why yours truly owns 100% of this company. We answer to nobody but you. Not a foreign caliphate, not one centralized ad agency, and certainly not the protocols, the guidelines of big tech. We answer to you, and on election night, I really, really hope and pray that everyone here in legacy media fears you. They should. You should be the shadow looming in their closet, under their bed, where they know they're going to pull some tricks, but they're also afraid we don't know how much of this we can pull, because we know there are going to be millions of people tuning in and paying attention to what we kind of had a monopoly in 2016 and 2020. We want this to be a seismic shift, the foundation here of how elections are conducted, how we observe them, and how we report on them. And none of this is possible without you. If you're watching on Rumble, click that button right there below. Join. If you're watching on YouTube, louderwithcutter.com/mugclub. We are going to go and a love letter to Mug Club C, who is going to hopefully get Gerald's $100. Don't take it out of petty cash. And take your chats along with a wrap up. YouTube, thank you, but not really. Piss off.
Error 8. So both of those guys stepped out for just a second. So one of the things I want you to pay attention to is the focus of the mainstream media right now. Mostly CNN, MSNBC, ABC, CBS, all those guys. They're going to be focusing on Donald Trump. They're going to be focusing on J.D. Vance and trying to come up with reasons why you shouldn't like them. And they're not going to give any kind of, I don't know, any kind of judgment on Harris or anything that she has done. They're basically just going to say that you're racist. Van Jones yesterday, by the way, was saying that incompetent is a racist word. You can go back and watch him last night talking about this on a panel saying, no. My people have dealt with that word for a long time. And I'm like, really? I think white people, Asian people, Hispanic people, all people could be called incompetent at some point. Doesn't matter. We can use unfit if you like that. But they're going to say that we're racist. They're going to say that we are sexist. And it's like, no, she's just not good at her job, period. She happens to be a woman and she happens to not be white. I don't know what she is because she claims different things at different times to suit her needs. So I'll just defer to her on that. But one of the things that went around was I think it was like Fox and Friends or something like that, where they said that she skipped the Netanyahu speech to go and speak to a sorority, to a colored sorority. That's what you heard. People were saying, can you believe that they said colored? First of all, Joey Reid said that most recently about an organization. So probably not the worst flub in the history of media. Second, he didn't actually say that.
You show up. The most recent decision, already you got a question. She will not show up for the Prime Minister's joint session of Congress today. She'd rather address in the summer a sorority, a college sorority. Like she can't get out of that. So that's her decision, and that's her decision to back up the protesters.
And how about the border? When they ask her about the border, I haven't been to Europe either. Remember she said that? She's the border czar. She didn't go to the...
All right, cut that out. So when I listened to that clip, that one for me was different than the one that was the camera on them, where it seemed much more likely. So maybe pull that clip, because I put that from my Twitter feed. And I pulled it from somebody who doesn't like these guys, so I was just curious what they were going to say. I listened to the one where the camera was on all of the speakers, and he basically said it was a college sorority. And it made it sound like colored there.
Oh, Brian Kilmeade?
Yeah, so when I listened to...
Such a...
I didn't hear that.
I
heard college.
I heard college.
I heard college, but they're trying to say it was colored. And the one that I saw,
I just said color tonight.
Kamala Harris. Well, colored. Look,
Well, these are the same people who say
Joy
people
Reid
of
said,
color, which I think is
Joy Reid said colored something, and I can't remember what it was. We can actually
She's a
pull it up
bitch.
right now. But anyway, it was. He wasn't talking about the historically black sorority that she was talking to. He was basically saying like this is a college sorority. Either way, it doesn't matter. These are the kinds of attacks they're going to come out with. None of the people right now. You see Van Jones talking right now. I guarantee you, Van Jones and that panel of people are not talking about the deficiencies in Kamala Harris's record. They're not talking about her being in charge of the border, whether you call it a czar or not. They're not talking about her being Biden's record 2.0. They're not talking about her lying to the American people and Van Jones and the rest of these guys being the last people on the planet to figure out that Joe Biden was having cognitive.
She's fucking the Statue of Liberty.
They're talking about.
Yeah, she's been doing.
I mean, a little bit. They're talking about J.D. Vance. They're talking about Donald Trump saying he's the oldest nominee in the history of the race.
They said that the day that Biden dropped out, as if it was supposed to mean something to me.
Olbermann, like, I feel a tingle down my leg, and
That was Chris Matthews.
was it Chris Matthews?
Well, that was the pee-pee tingling down.
Yes, Chris Matthews said, "I have a tingle down my leg," and Keith Olbermann said, "I believe I jizzed my pants."
All right, let's hear this guy because he typically pushes back. Let's see.
Make me over it. But, you know, for people who work in the business and who've worked for politicians and who've gotten close to them, I just wanted to acknowledge that I know what you're going through, and a lot of other people in the business
Screw you,
know what
I
you're
don't
going
care.
through, and I just wanted to say, I know it's an emotional night for you. Thank you.
Thank you. What a classy guy he is.
But your guy still sucks.
No.
By the way, I did think it was a nice moment that the president
won't do
and the
that
First
back.
Lady decided.
Teen moms from MTV.
So we can have arguments about senior staff, if they insulated, if they were transparent enough from the public. But there were a lot of people working around the campus of the White House that had no idea the inner workings of what was happening, and they had to deal with the news cycle.
Oh, here's someone
People,
likable.
calling into question their leadership. And I thought that was just a nice moment to reward people who were loyal, kept their heads down, and were working.
I think
Yeah,
that
scratch
was
that
also
thing.
a reward for him.
Yeah.
Because it's a very lonely decision to walk away. I can tell you that one thing about working in the White House is there is a sense of community.
That's what they do. They love the butt scratches. Right up on the. Oh yeah, look at that tail going nuts. He said, "Give me more, dude." You gotta watch that tail, dude. That's like a right hook from a little lady.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call you Joe Frazier with the left hook.
I embrace you with love.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Let's get back to the Republican strategy here.
Usually we drop some food, so
Right.
I'm sorry.
you know I'm always dropping food. Nick's not here this week with chicken legs.
They go on to say that the
You're a good boy.
find themselves
Yeah, you are. I didn't say stop.
can overstate.
I'm sorry, we're interrupting CNN. He's the greediest dog for pets.
Kamala Harris
It's okay.
right now.
All right, Joe Lewis. I know, but
Oh yeah, get up in here. I don't want to kiss. I know you love the kiss. You want to get your tongue in my mouth.
he will.
Taste that beer. You're not going to get it.
He will.
I was on the 08
All right,
campaign,
Joe Lewis.
and we thought people were
You want to know what happened?
There's plenty of people out there who'll give you
Kamala Harris.
You want to know what happened, people? Everybody looked at this race and said Donald Trump is going to win. I know there's an Ipsos, Reuters, I believe, poll out there that says Kamala Harris is winning by 2 points. Look at the RCP averages. It's actually way, way, way better for Donald Trump, especially when the polling they can manipulate these people.
Yeah,
I believe it was say it right now. Do you?
Right. No, it's complete. And I said
whether it's Trump or Kamala, I don't care what it is right now.
Honeymoon, right?
Yeah.
There's 6, 7, maybe 8 polls that are out. Only one.
You got to hear her speak.
That hasn't been in Kamala.
Guys, do me a favor. Give me a screenshot of the RCP averages from when Harris was the candidate to now. There's a lot of polls that have come out, and the more registered voters that you include in the poll, the better that Donald Trump does. He's still leading by 1.6.
This still is a much tougher fight.
It's a much tougher fight. We have to play like we're 10 points behind. Otherwise, cackling Kamala Harris could be the first female president of the United States.
Oh, gross.
Quickly. We've got actually two polls. Well, that's from 7-5. So we have to look from when they actually came in.
There were some that came in.
719 to 722 would cover it. Because
there have been quite a few
right now.
And by the way, they not only oversampled Democrats, they always oversample Democrats in polls typically because independents lean Republican. But the one, I believe it was the Ipsos poll.
Right there.
Had a
Look
very
at RCP.
Yeah.
Still has him at plus 1.7 for the overall average. The CNN poll, most recent, 1,600 registered voters, has him at plus 3.
Yeah.
That is still a chasm nationally. Plus 3 is insane. He actually does better in swing states. Like, he is doing very well. So people that are out there going, oh my gosh. But here's the thing. The only poll that CNN and everybody else is quoting is the one that has Harris up 2.
Well, she
Because
climbed
they're
it.
like, look, she's up 2.
These polls
Right?
don't
So
matter
leave that
though,
up for a
because I
second,
have
right?
lots
You
of
see that-
liberal friends. I'm talking to them. We're talking because they all want to know why. Because I'm the only
Nobody
conservative
likes
person,
her.
or not, I'm a conservative-ish
Right.
person that they know. So they're like, hey, what do you think about this? And as soon as he dropped out, so many people hit me up like, oh my God, what do you think now that it's not Biden? I'm like, well, that's your only, criteria.
Yeah.
Is that it's not Biden. So that'll wear off. That'll, like you said, honeymoon period. That'll wear off.
Period for
They
a
hear
couple
her
weeks.
speak.
She'll get a bump at
They hear her
convention.
policies.
Right. Do you want my next prediction here?
Yes,
She gets an STD.
that's
Already had it.
passed.
Come on, she's overcome that hill.
I cleared up quickly nowadays.
So honeymoon period, that starts to wane. DNC, that starts to wane. Biden steps down. That is the thing I call the October surprise this year is Kamala
Bold
Harris.
prediction,
becomes
Cod.
president.
Let's see how it pans out for you.
Kamala, I've been right before. I'll be right again.
Yeah.
I really
know.
do think if they are
You
all,
lost $100 tonight, though.
if they are, I
Yeah,
did lose
but
$100
speech,
tonight.
so
you're
did
right.
I, apparently.
No, wait. Josh lost $100 tonight.
I'm the only one who didn't.
Yeah, you didn't lose $100 tonight.
Oh.
So, by the way, we
I
have
have so much more money than you.
We have a Forbes poll against Trump. Trump is plus 6. So here's the thing, guys. What I want you to look at right here. Look right here in the column of sample, RV registered voters. When you increase the number of registered voters, like the Morning Consult has 4,000 registered voters, Trump plus 2. When you have 1,000, or if you have 1,100, it goes down just a little bit, right? But if you have the 1,600 right there on the CNN poll, registered voters are going for Trump in mass numbers. So what you'll see is more polls that have a smaller sample size, or a smaller. I got caught. I have like a cough.
Okay.
I suppressed it. You called it out. I appreciate that. If you can fall in a
You have
chair,
a cough.
we call you out.
Therefore, your L's sound like ours.
If you have a smaller sample size or a smaller number of registered voters that you're polling, that tends to work in Harris's favor. So look
Or
out
a
for
smaller
more of those.
percentage of independents.
Yes.
Where are they polling these
That's
people,
a
too?
huge piece of it, right?
Yeah.
Where are they polling them? What time are they polling them?
There's
Is it
a
an
whole
online
lot of factors.
poll?
I don't
Is this a
believe-
downtown New York
Yeah.
poll? Is this a Seattle poll? Is it down even
Right.
in Texas, a downtown
Yeah, you have
Dallas,
to
a
look-
downtown Austin poll, rather than the guy who's working on a farm right now, or the guy who's in a warehouse, the guy who's driving a truck, the guy who's
No.
or
nobody
girl
likes her.
who's working
Nobody
at the
likes her.
freaking restaurant.
Democrats didn't like her 2 weeks ago. They were like, oh, dear Lord, can we pick somebody else to be vice president? Because Joe Biden's going to die in office if he wins again, and then it's going to be Kamala.
I mean,
Now they're
as
like,
much as I don't like her, Nikki Haley was so confident in how unlikable she was. She said, make no mistake, a vote for Joe Biden is a vote for the presidency of Kamala Harris.
Exactly. And she was right.
She was right about that.
Haley's not right about a lot of things,
No.
but she was right about that.
Yes.
So if you look at the polling, like, we need to understand that this fight is not because Harris is such a formidable candidate.
It's the media.
It's the media.
It's the media.
They will prop her up like they're doing right now. They're going after J.D. Vance. They're going after Donald Trump. They are not in any way questioning the record of Harris as a senator or as vice president and saying she owns the border. They're just saying, no, she's not the border zone.
And let me be really clear. It's not lost on me that we have a blow-up doll, Kamala Harris, who's fucking the Statue of Liberty. But
I wouldn't say that.
I wouldn't. Here's the thing. If I was Donald Trump, well, she is a doll, depending on, how many beers you've had.
Doll.
Look, he shouldn't spend a bunch of time on that because the media will say that it's sexist. Now, this is an entertainment show, so it's okay. That being said, it is relevant. She did sleep her way to the top. And if you want to tell your daughter that, hey, look, you can be anything you want to be, like even the president of the United States, if you blow everybody.
There are plenty of women for me to point my daughter to.
And
there are plenty, in politics,
everybody.
in entertainment, in every industry, there are plenty of women for me to point my daughter to, and that's not the one.
Exactly.
I will say this.
It is relevant, but they say like that's a negative female stereotype. They'll say, okay, but what about when you perpetuate it? And here's the thing too: people say, well, Donald Trump was a philanderer. That is true. He didn't sleep his way to the top. People were trying to sleep their way to the top with him. It's not the same thing. The idea that a man can sleep his way to the top of the corporate ladder, it's not a thing.
He slept his way to scandal. Actually.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, unless you're
into court cases.
Yeah, unless you're trying to go for Mr. Olympia, in which case you get on your knees for Joe Weider. But outside of that, it's not really a thing. And that does matter when they talk about character, setting an example. Can you bring up not only Willie Brown, but like there's a picture when she was dating Montel Williams, and he has 2 side pieces on each arm. She's wearing like a beige sequin low-cut dress.
It looks
He's
like
I got 2
people
bitches.
said that was his daughter.
Oh.
I'm not buying that.
Well, why is his hand so close to her boob?
Yeah.
I saw a photo. It's index finger on the underboob.
Yeah. And then, do we have the clip of Judge Joe Brown saying what let's pull that up.
Here's probably get it.
Here's that. Oh,
Look at the fingers.
That's on the boob. That's on the boob.
Yeah.
That's Morpheus groping his daughter.
All right, I'm gonna go.
The red pill or the blue pill?
I don't know, but he got some Tic Tacs in there.
Research. That's his daughter.
Research also chimed in that not to lose it. At this exact time in 2020, Biden was up 8.7%. So that's a big difference.
Another thing, yeah,
huge
good
difference.
Point.
Yeah. Donald Trump has outperformed his polls consistently. Look,
I say give it time. Also, here's the thing that Trump needs to avoid is avoid the female factor of it.
Yeah.
We talked about it earlier, but you got to avoid the female factor. He said it in a speech recently, something like you'd be dumb to vote for this, but especially a female socialist or whatever. And the media took that and they rode that for like 10 minutes. But
yeah, although what he said was, he said, "Can you imagine the president of the United States a socialist, a female socialist?" And like that's a valid point. It's a valid point. A socialist, let alone a female socialist. I mean, Karl Marx didn't even respect.
How are you a
women.
feminist socialist? It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
You get zero power. You lose all power in socialism.
Yeah, exactly. It's a centralized government that, by the way, is a byproduct of patriarchy.
Hey, do you remember that one government that had females in charge of their socialist government?
Oh, yeah, Nazis.
Oh, they did.
Kind of. It was nationalist socialism.
There was none of them.
No, I was confused.
They don't exist.
I was confused.
Those countries don't exist.
And German women can go either way. They can be gorgeous or they can look like pork rinds.
And that's not gorgeous.
I mean, it depends.
It looks tasty to me.
When the mood strikes.
Full of fat content.
I can't believe that Gerald abandoned us here when we were about to go to the polls and see who he pays the $100.
We got it looks like we got the Joe Brown.
Yeah.
Oh, do we?
Judge Joe Brown?
Judge Joe Brown.
Joe Brown.
Hey, he's no nonsense.
No, he does not. He does not.
Black. She's a frat whore.
Okay, let's play Judge Joe Brown. Here he is.
She's a witch, and she is a corrupt witch. She's been corrupt her whole life, and she fucked her way to the top. They used to detail this witch in the LA Times with her sexual escapades. She's fucked damn near everybody trying to get her to be a frat hole when she was in house.
That sounds like she fucked
And
him.
she ain't black. I mean, well, no, but she's I'm just giving this. Well, here's the thing. I actually met her father in Jamaica. I was the guest, sitting in the government.
You got. I want to hear the rest of that.
Cut that off. I want to hear about that. You heard Dad try to stab him over a bonefish.
I love conversations like that where it's like it's because as white people we get told this stuff all the time.
Right.
You get told this is how it is, this is how it is, this is how it is. They're having a conversation with no white people talking about it.
Right.
It's just black people talking about, hey, she's not even black.
She's not even black, and that bitch fucked.
It's like, hey, I'm going to shut up. Let y'all talk about your shit.
Yeah.
I'll take it from you. I'll take it from the horse's mouth.
I know.
Thank you.
You know, and I never get to pat myself on the back, but you're talking. This is the guy I had no reason because Fox News and HLN and black radiation. We went to a barber shop. Like, you're a conversation. They give a divide. I know what they white guy, let's just talk about and you can have a conversation. And it's what I think for all fans. No, I'm not dead. Ask the president. No, I'm listen to you. They're friends. What the hell? You smell you, Carol. You smell like that's the watermelon lip gloss. That's your favorite. All right. Well, let's.
Me? Seats. You got that?
I was.
You have that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, what happened?
I mean, just watch.
I wasn't.
You were there.
I'm me.
You were there.
Those guys got fucked by the Polar Express.
Off we go.
Chad. Yeah.
Great.
They all touch me. They all touch me. It's not a, it's a,
Lost weight.
Surface, boss. You might suggest to be very quick about it.
With his fat
Might give
jokes?
you less.
Yeah. I heard it through the grapevine that she was upset. All he did was, and he's so brilliant, like he picks a little bit, because like Rosie O'Donnell knows she's fat. But Anna Navarro is just fat enough where she can convince herself that she's not. Or at least she was. And so Nick just kept harping on it, and she lost weight, and she hates it. So, I don't know. I just think that's a win for Mike Love.
Yeah, for sure. Also, I think thin Rosie O'Donnell would suck even worse.
Oh, yeah.
Don't you think?
Yeah,
She's gotta be a little chubby.
It's like Al Roker. Like, some people lose weight.
Do, or,
Yeah, she looked like that Dr. Seuss little bubble.
To give you an idea of the polling I talked to you about a minute ago, Mark Cuban put out something. Said, who is the low energy candidate for president?
Oh, please tell me this goes the way I hope it
That
does.
actually did come through with the. Oh, there we go. Hey, look, this is not a small sample size. It's 254,000 votes.
How likely is his followers?
Exactly. 66% of people are saying it's Kamala Harris. Donald Trump is, rocking the boat here.
If you were smart, I would have this one say, "Wow." Let's grab now. Get out of
Until next time, gigantic, go ahead.
Probably going to keep warm.
Well, they would have been thrown off a building.
Well, AIDS, it shoots down your immune system so you feel cold.
It does.
God bless America for giving you the right to do that kind of dumb shit.
Yeah, and AIDS. I mean, Africa.
Next.
What's the next one?
All right, next one from Mr. Ford Raptors. It's your worst nightmare.
It's your worst nightmare. Boy, that's really it's your worst nightmare. Somebody went meta with the Photoshop that is not even chronologically accurate.
What did it say on yours?
That's your worst nightmare, and his was let me see live stream. Gerald wasn't even here for that, so he didn't know what we're talking about. He was in the art. Yeah. He also tells you to not beat your bitch. I know. Yeah. But he tells you to not beat your bitch.
Oh, you'll notice Ice-T has a Ranger tag. Yeah, he's a Ranger. He did a Ranger tag. He was in there for 4 years with 20 minutes. Wow. I'm curious. He said, he goes, asked like, had a problem. Called.
Want to be a Ranger.
All right, I can go through the training.
Because it's a cool train.
Cool. I was at what worst nightmare.
Famous veteran, Ice-T.
Oh, yeah. No, he has a Ranger tab, they call it.
Mm-hmm.
The Raiders will do it unpaid.
It's my worst nightmare. I'm like a snow walker.
They said I couldn't blend in the Russian winter, so I got out.
I don't know exactly what happened, but I'm disappointed with my life's choice. Get a good check. No, they don't like it. That's where you have number one. All right, we're going in C. All right, final one. From I Romance. It's another person.
Wait, Megas. Not yet.
Josh is $1. All right,
If I work right, guaranteed with a Kamala
Jeff reports that to that.
But you know what to do. So it's all for Kamala. Here's what I'll do. Yeah, we're great. And also, what's all that? That's not worth nothing. Jared has to take the money call. Steven speaks for the people. You haven't worked for local improv. No, that's your worst not. Steven on that panel, so the other guy.
Ooh. Have Steven on for 10 minutes. You know what? That guy is pushed back quite a bit.
Who, this black guy?
No,
the guy with the... Oh, the rapper? Peace out. Oh, the white guy.
The other panel, this is the BT panel.
Not Xerxes?
What? You better me or him. Just saying.
That one's tough. That one's tough. That guy is Xerxes. I need to see him in a Dennis Rodman.
What are they saying? They look animated.
That's bullshit.
In 2020.
Ken Clyburn said that.
Listen, we got the black people. So like
Moderate black voters in the South.
Yeah, he's
How did you know he was going to be getting involved?
It happened in the studio as well. It's weird.
Just back studio.
I can't with that nose. Good God.
The real
She looks like the person's like, what do I do? Yeah, she looks like the junk Muppet in Labyrinth who's telling her that you need your Betsy boo. She looks at her closet.
She looks like if doing coke had like a diabetes side effect of getting your nose falling off.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. And Anna Barrow looks like a bitch. I just been Republican. I've been great sharing to other Cubans who don't want me to be amongst them. I love the way you get of Mr. Paolo.
I can hear the office laugh.
Yeah. It is, look, can I prove it to you? No. It's 100% true.
Yeah, true.
And if nothing else, I feel like we can accomplish something. Let's grab some chats. Unless we're missing people back here.
You missed me, Lenny, and I miss you too.
I don't want to do this, guys. I don't want to do this tonight. I don't want to hear them anymore. We fact checked them. They have nothing to offer. Let's go to chat with the people we love. All right.
Actually, I have an image for that.
Oh, yeah. You look like the slavery for the American people. People say that. She don't look like a Vindaloo.
That's why the 30 never goes away.
She's big both sides. Me, she's ridiculous. She's ridiculous. She feels. Cheers. Yeah, good job. Good job. You're better than me.
Just get into the front corners.
Just get close, Chris. Get it.
That's a headboard.
There's no more headboard. You have to buy a new one when Kamala's through with it. People have said that. I say, that's terrible. I can't believe you would say that. They say,
Take me up.
she has sex with people. A lot of people have had sex with Kamala. They've had sex with her.
Have you?
I've had sex with her because I have, frankly, standards.
Another day or night
But she's
in
had lots of
paradise.
sex with lots of people. Shameful. That's accurate. It's yeah. I love how Billy Brown.
You got
I love how Billy Brown never denied it. He was like, yeah, it's funny, you know.
I did that's the person I did.
Gee,
We not have.
Exchange B from Ben Rivera, 24. Question for what impact will presidency change the trajectory of this? If people don't think for themselves.
I think he is ridiculous.
Is it repeatable number of years? Yes. And 8 inches? Yes. 8 rounds? Yes. Is it a and never slept. It was no different.
His grounds like the first shake things up.
Well, he also doesn't have to be beholden to, you know, a second term at this point.
Well, he can also set somebody up for the next 8 years.
Exactly. Well, not just one person, but set a tone. It's already happened.
Yeah.
After the first 4 years, and now this 4 years from not being in office, there's been a tone set.
Time to fish.
There's been the status quo, the regular, the Mike Pences of the world have been pushed out. They've been pushed out of any kind of power, any kind of importance. I mean, we still have that, you know, that turkey of a senator from Kentucky still.
That turkey of a senator. Right?
Yeah. Right.
What are you, Ron DeSantis' campaign?
Sorry, that you drink. I started getting ready.
You actually start toning down this morning?
Yeah, I'm trying to, but you know, I think I lost the point there.
Giant turkey.
No, but things have changed. The attitude's changed in Congress. We have a Speaker of the House now. Not necessarily the side of the president. We have the Vice President. We have the
In the first episode, so I stopped.
What?
Yeah, no.
Oh, was he a bad kid?
Who knows?
Okay. Let's grab another chat.
Maybe throw catch me 2 more.
Really quickly.
Yeah. A lot of thoughts.
That's the old game.
That's right.
The Dragon Lord. It's pretty good. Just gifted. So I think Donald Trump that we can never go back from. Right? He has exposed the left in a way that nobody else.
That's right.
It has absolutely become clear. The right is saying,
There we go.
and maybe I thought.
Okay. It's not that push as hard as maybe I hope to. Maybe go, hey, here's some time. All right, there's got to be a way to get around this. There's got to be counter this. And Donald Trump's like, look, these people do not. The leadership of the Democratic Party, specifically, not the people that are voting Democrat that are being convinced by CNN because of all the crap they're saying, but the leadership do not have the best interests of this country in mind or the citizens. When they put these policies in place, they have power. And they will do whatever they can to get that power. And at some point, you have to go. This is worth fighting for. That's what Donald Trump did when he said you're going to.
You really should have.
I'm like, no, this country goes away. He's 100% right. It doesn't mean to, but does mean go, hey, this is not just.
Companionship, my king. In war, one must take sides, and you had
Every
best
other
choose
election we
mine.
had, not just every other time that we have this free. This is a fight because the media will be against you, the candidates will be against you, and if you're not careful, they will
You'll get over it.
This social media will kick you off.
Looks like I angered him.
Let us continue on as friends and kin.
Like something where I could actually make a difference, and only if I could run the platform up. Look, I don't need this job. I want this job. They're going to bring out every single hit piece that's ever existed about me. Very little of it is true. Some of it is true. But this is what I want to do. Take it or leave it. And by the way, this chick's a bitch. I'll just walk off stage. But it's there. I won't, but for the first time, entertain the idea.
The deep.
Because
Arise.
as a man.
Yeah,
This chick's a bitch.
Yeah. Well, that's what I meant. Yeah. No, if it was a woman, I would never say that.
Pete, right.
I would never say that if I was a woman. If it was a woman, I would say she's full road. And then back in. Let's grab a little chat.
Fight like hell.
That's probably, sometimes it's absolutely right.
All right, fight like hell. Question for the crew. Should Trump just start going after the fact that Kamala has zero experience in world affairs? After all, she's never even done
No, stick to lawlessness narrative. Stick to as far as Biden-Harris administration, stick to borders are, and the fact that she maintained the lie that it was complete.
And she had way more political and government experience than Donald Trump did before he ran. That's right.
Yeah.
And J.D. Vance. So I think I understand where you're coming from, but I think it's a losing argument.
Also, gives a shit what Donald Trump.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, he knows me
very well. Yeah.
But, yeah.
By the way, they just had on CNN a poll that had 46 Harris, 49 Trump, and said no clear leader. It's a 3-point gap, but that's still within the margin. By the way, I'm hearing not only from my wife, but also from other people in chat that Haktula Harris. Haktula Harris, the original Haktula.
Oh, that's gross. I would never say that, but I will tell you, a lot of people are calling Haktula Harris. They call her Haktula Harris. I say that's gross, but they say that's what she does. I say, well, maybe.
Said it's just
Haktula. It's been home.
Only Vance Harris.
Oh. She's got no fans.
That's her name. Only Vance Harris. I would never say that, but people tell me about her only fans. I say, That's a shame, bros. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you say is bro.
Army sandwich is what I'm looking at. Steak.
I rather like roast beef.
This roast beef. Absolutely not. Yeah.
I doubt there's much that I can do for you.
So much more unsettling.
Thanks. Here's something.
Death has arrived.
Much for the crew. So yesterday we
I got the message that you need assistance, Zagreus.
with Benjamin Netanyahu when he arrived.
All of these you should know is
I know, right?
It's not a shift in the party, you guys. Don't be in their party that we can't see.
Nobody.
Thanks, Jews.
He didn't. He doesn't. Netanyahu's a big fan of Jews. And nobody met him at the plane of the administration, which is just kind of a further it's insane.
If you don't like the guy, tell him show up, shake his hand harder, and say, welcome to my country, a fucking good one.
Yeah.
Look at how we do shit. Even if you don't like the guy. It's disrespectful and it's fucking arrogant.
Harris should have been there by.
Well, the problem is if Harris, look, excuse me, frankly, if Harris showed up, she wouldn't shake his hand. She'd shake his hand.
No.
Of course, an man, you'd say, don't, frankly, that's gross. Don't shake his hand. But you would say, that's what I do. I would say, if he shakes to me.
Soon leads my troops the room. Who's going to clean all this up?
I'll take it.
No rockets getting through. I actually saw somebody saying, "Look, if we're gonna be in bed with one of our allies, it should be Canada. They're a bigger ally than us." And I'm like, "Listen, Canada, you're irrelevant. Nobody cares what you do. You're in a safe neighborhood. Israel is not. That's why when we say they're one of our biggest allies, it's because they are amongst a group of people that hate everything we stand for. Everything that you hold dear, they hate. Israel is the lone country standing there taking the heat, even for all of their faults. I get it. They weren't because they didn't want to, because there's a group of their party that says, and Jews out there right now, the lowest ever on the same. That's cool. Democratic voters.
That's what your Soros has done. I've never said such a thing. That's disgusting, frankly. It's shameful for him to say, but they're witnesses in the attic eating corns with their pinkies.
Chat from Jonas Spencer. Question for Stephen. Does a moderate VP pick on Kamala's end make
Lord
her
Aries,
lawful enough
as
to vote
bloodshed
as
has become somewhat of a necessity in my situation, I'm very grateful that you're with me in this. I know never to take it for granted.
The thing of them, that man does something in moderation, especially
Your most gracious would be my kid, and I remain enthralled as ever by your blood-soaked way of life. I trust the violence I have wrought on your behalf has been quite satisfactory.
makes that much of a difference. I really don't think it makes that much of a difference, unless, of course, the person running for president is about to die.
Coriolis, the Heartseeker. It pierced 3 titans in one shot back in the war amongst our kind. Please do take care of it.
You believe I think you're right. I don't like, but
do you think does a vice president make that much of a difference in a general election?
No, they make a difference for the whole stuff. Hey, this guy's a little bit out there. This guy makes me feel a little bit more crisp. Pick it out. Right now, you don't want to have somebody more popular on the bottom of the ticket right now than every single. Yes, exactly. You don't want too much of a power bottom. Every single Democrat that could be put on that ticket right now is a power bottom, except for these popular.
Exactly. And why is it a bad thing?
We're going to have too much power at the top.
Yeah, why is it a bad thing for people if someone is more popular as vice president?
It becomes about them and not.
you can get no leverage, folks.
That is 100%.
Ready yourself, Asterius, my friend, for our most hated enemy has come to challenge us again before this loving crowd.
I don't understand this place at all. How is it you're still champion after all this time? After losing repeatedly and often, I mean.
What you know of it? There's more, much more to be champion than empty victories. It is a way of thought, a bearing, a certain dignity which you shall never have. Wait till pleasure that despite being strange to you and good.
We got them in good shape.
Sure. But out there, just like in the case of the assassination, for the American people, show up my church is saying, institutions, and the Bible upside down.
So, what had to be showing in the museum?
And the fucking Black Lives Matter burned down the building of an innocent congregation just blocks away from the White House. That and we just forget. You forget that kicking down the barricades. They were saying bunker Don. He's only going to bunker Don. They just said what is this? What is this? The Old Testament? Like, lay on the banner so we can raid them. So we can get a testament. They burned down. They want to get the that and your families and your children are all like I mean, I will say this like compared to Pussy March, compared to Pussy March, compared to burning down the church,
This needs war.
Aggressively shitting on cars, into the market, which is a skill and but you bet your time was for January 6th. Forbid they actually take those roads. It's going to win if they're January 12th.
my top 5 examples of deliberate misquotes from Donald Trump. Look, let's just put this in context, because you mentioned January 6th, and I do appreciate, I know that you're being semi-facetious. Which means you're likely educated. But when they say act like Hitler, can you picture Hitler saying, I'm not talking about the neo-Nazis that have the primitive citizens of Germany.
Let's just go down this Satan hole.
Adolf Hitler saying, where do men always have peace, peacefully, patriotically, always have to win peace for the cause. That's not important. Anyone who continues with that, I can hide from like people that make mistakes because they'll win insurrection. Was given a blip on their radar. It's here in that air. I'm gonna see you on Friday. I don't know watching make the battle of my house.
God's grant me strength. Got some zest. Lots of coin there. Back I go. Got a bite. Victory. I bet it's here. here. A special treat for Cerberus. I should be able to get back through here. I can lever it one more time. I can use this. Good boy.
Joyfully, the Hand of Hell accepts another satyr sack.
Thanks, boy. One last bit of business to take care of then.
Your heart-seeking Corlox may have brought you this far, but shall not help you here. Darkness. Darkness. A waste of effort. Get the hand is turned a small dispute into a war.
Got you.
You truly dare. Behold. Go back.
Not this. Hey, help.
You truly I must admit, you learned something at some point in all this. Fair. Well,
I did it. In the name of Hades.
The never-learning Zagreus then carelessly fell off a precipice or something, plunging him into the rapids of the Styx.
Well, that was pretty good all in all.
of home.
One more forbidden exchange, Hypnos. Sometimes when I'm out there and about to die, I catch myself thinking, well, at least Hypnos will share one of his deep insights about why it is I utterly failed.
Yeah.
So here, for all your generous advice.
I mean, he is helpful.
Oh, I feel like I'm gonna cry. I mean, all my advice is free. You really didn't have to do this. I sure am glad you did. Even if it is highly illegal. I...
Do it.
You what, Hypnos? You what?
I think you could be my best friend. Have you tried being my best friend?
I'll have to give that a shot.
Just keep a watch over the pull of sticks there, same as always.
I don't wish to presume, lad, but you seem more glum than usual. What's waiting on you there, if you don't mind?
Oh, it's just... I've never slain a living creature, sir, until my recent journey to the temple up above. I know they're just satyrs and vermin, but it's not the same as sending wretches to the depths.
Okay, bud? Cerberus.
Look, all mortal life is fragile. It simply is a struggle to survive. Sooner or later it fails to succeed, and then it ends up here. And we have room enough for everyone. Even the satyrs and the vermin of the world.
Hey, what you doing? She'll be home soon, buddy, I know. I missed the bug. I know, buddy.
Now you mention it, I have to say I'm glad we can accommodate all former living things. And at least mortals get to rest assured knowing what happens once they die. Must really ease the mind.
Indeed, lad.
I knew you could do it. Your father's prouder of you than you think.
Let me know if you need anything. Here's the spot, doesn't it, boy? I know you're caught up in the middle of all this and having to weigh your loyalties more than you'd like. I'm sorry we're putting you through this.
You got one bear, don't. Oh, who's our bear, don't.
The prince's next attempt to drive the monstrous triple-headed hellhound into further lagging end proves once again successful, as the kingly gift of heavenly ambrosia is beyond compare.
Who the go bear did any dog, dog?
It shall be as you say, my lord. I will report back soon.
You and my son. It pleases me to see the two of you have grown so close of late. Thanatos has always led a solitary life. He never would complain of it, and yet I know he yearned for closeness in his way.
It's difficult to find a friend down here, though I have always had a trusted one in Thanatos and he in me. I think we have a better understanding of that now.
Then may the bonds of your friendship last for as long as this house shall reign beneath the earth, here in the dark. Take care of my dear son.
I will. Please take these, will you, Chef? Always a pleasure. Pleasure doing business with you, Fates. I guess Sisyphus is even freer than before. The Mirror of Night. It's made me strong. Maybe like so. Phew, felt that. Stygius. Myself. That one looks interesting. keepsakes. That's as bad as this gets. Don't stick around on my account, boyo.